get seated quickly. We're already late by 1 minute. हाँ यार, फॉर्मेट खत्म करना चाहिए ना. चालू कर. लाइव गया नहीं था क्या? So, let me start. Chalo, get seated. Do not disturb the camera. Chairs गायब करने का ला पूरे. No one will be sitting on chair. It's not proper here. Let me start. Enough. Good evening, friends. Let us proceed ahead. We have discussed some items of financial statements. Let us move on with additional items. We talked about share capital and reserves and surplus. I have already shared a PDF for online people. Offline people, you would have got a printout. शेयर कैपिटल के अंदर के डिस्क्लोजर्स हमने कल कुछ डिस्कस किए थे. सो यू हैव टू शो द ब्रेकअप ऑफ ऑथराइज्ड कैपिटल, इश्यूड कैपिटल एंड सो ऑन सो फोर्थ. If you are agreed to issue the shares in future under an options contract, option is a choice given to a person to buy shares at a future date. So if like employees को आप option दे सकते हो. जैसे मैंने परसों कॉस्टिंग में एक एग्जांपल दिया था. आई एम ए एम्प्लॉयर, आई एम अ विजय शेखर शर्मा, यू आर एम्प्लॉइज ऑफ पेटीएम. I give option to you to buy shares of a company at a future date. I give option to you people to buy shares of a company at a future date at a predetermined price. Such thing is called as an option. Such a thing is called as an what? So if you have given any such options to employees or anyone else for whatever the reason, you have to give the details. Shares reserved under option contract, oblique commitment for sale of a share, disinvestment in case of government companies होता है, including terms and amounts. मतलब if you have agreed for any options, give the details of the options. Next important disclosure जो है, last 5 years में whatever shares you are given without payment being received in cash, shares can be issued for a consideration in cash, shares can be received for a consideration other than cash. So in last 5 years, as on the balance sheet date, whatever shares you have given for a consideration other than cash. For example, you purchase a building, and for that building you gave what? Shares. You gave shares for purchasing what? Building. So give what? Details of the shares issued by you for a consideration other than cash. Whatever bonus shares you are given, that is why I was explaining bonus shares. Whatever bonus shares you are given in last how many years? 5 years, give the details of the same. Whatever share you have done buyback in the last 5 years, give the details. कुछ समझा क्या? Who are you people? You are a potential chartered accountant. You are a potential chartered accountant. Just like there is a potential chartered accountant, there is a concept called as potential equity share. What word I used? Look at this. I am a company. I am in need of money. I raise money by issuing convertible debentures. What word I used? Debentures, I assume you know. I raise debt. I promised him that after 5 years, instead of repaying the loan, after 5 years, I will convert loan or debentures into equity shares. Such equity shares are known as potential equity shares. What word I used? Who are you? Potential chartered accountant. All of you or some of you? Good. Everyone has a potential. Potential तो हर एक के पास है, ये तो मैं बोलता हूं. बनोगे नहीं बनोगे वो तुम्हारे हाथ में. So, just like there are potential chartered accountants sitting in front of me, in a company there are potential equity shares which are converted from debentures to equity. तो उनके भी details दे दो. Terms of securities which are convertible into equity or preference shares issued along with earliest date of conversion. मतलब कब conversion होने वाला है. So if you have any debentures which are convertible into equity shares, उनके details दो. क्यों? बच्चों याद रखना जिंदगी में एक बहुत important concept बोल रहा हूं. Profit per share in a fancy language is known as earning per share. देखो अभी. Are you ready to go mad? Yes. Are you ready to listen to the concepts? Yes. Are you dumb? No. Idiot? No. So सुन, तेरे में कैपेबिलिटी है सुनने की. प्रॉफिट पर शेयर को हम क्या बोलता है? अर्निंग पर शेयर. कैसे निकलता है? अच्छा, अर्निंग पर शेयर. I said earning per share. Earning is nothing but profit is equal to net profit for equity shareholders. Assume that if there are preference shares, from the net profit you should deduct preference dividend, not preference shares. Net profit का मतलब क्या होता है? That is PAT. It is not part. कुछ यहां पे पुनेरी पब्लिक होगा. पार्ट लेस प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड. प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स पे डिविडेंड देना होता है. नेट प्रॉफिट, दैट इज व्हाट? प्रॉफिट आफ्टर टैक्स डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट? प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड. डिवाइडेड बाय क्या? यूजलेस. माइनस प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड. पैट में से प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड क्या करो आप? माइनस करो. माइनस करके डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट? नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स. इसके ऊपर 2 लेक्चर हो गए वर्ड के ऊपर आगे जाके. इसके ऊपर एक पूरा अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड है. अर्निंग पर, ऐसा आपका प्रॉफिट पर शेयर निकलता है. नंबर ऑफ कौन से शेयर्स? नंबर ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर्स. अर्निंग पर शेयर इज कैलकुलेटेड फॉर इक्विटी शेयर्स ओनली. अर्निंग पर शेयर इज कैलकुलेटेड फॉर, क्यों? प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर के लिए ऐसा फिक्स मिलता है ना उनको. प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर कहता है फिक्स डिविडेंड, दैट्स इट, नो क्वेश्चंस. इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स को क्या मिलता है? वेरिएबल मिलता है. अर्निंग पर. अब सुन लो, कंपनी के पास आज की तारीख में प्रॉफिट है. खतरनाक पागल हो गया तुम. दोनों को मैटर. कंपनी हैज अ प्रॉफिट ऑफ, मैं अमाउंट पर्पसफुली कम रखता हूं, 50 लाख. Let us assume preference shares are not there, so minus 0. क्यों? preference shares पे dividend नहीं है. क्यों? preference shares ही नहीं है. और कंपनी के पास assume करो 2 लाख इक्विटी शेयर्स है. 2 lakh equity shares company has got. What do you get? 50 upon 2. 25. What is 25? 25 lakh नहीं है. 25 rupees. हाँ, ये तो 25 lakh इतना मारेगा ना. 50 lakh rupees divided by 2 lakh is not 25 lakh, is rupees 25. What is this rupees 25? Earning per share. Do you wanna go mad? Yes. पक्का? देखो, I read the balance sheet. I'm reading. Notes to account में दिख रहा है company has got so many debentures convertible into equity shares in future. कहां पे लिखा है? Notes to account में लिखा है company has got dot number of equity shares or dot number of debentures convertible into dot number of equity shares. Whatever number रे, दिमाग में बत्ती जलनी चाहिए तुम्हारे. क्या बत्ती जलनी चाहिए? नोट्स टू अकाउंट में तुमने पढ़ा कंपनी हैज डॉट डिबेंचर्स कन्वर्टिबल इनटू डॉट नंबर ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर्स. बत्ती. अर्निंग पर शेयर may come down in future when these debentures are converted into equity shares. Right now you have got 2 lakh equity shares. What if debentures get converted into equity shares? What will happen if debentures get converted into equity shares? Share price of this, always share price. EPS, what will happen on EPS? EPS will come down? May come down. Why did I say may come down? There are 2 things that will happen. Listen to this. I have debentures which may be converted into equity shares or which will be converted into equity shares. When debentures get converted into equity shares, 2 things happen. Number one, interest on debentures will go away. Right now I am paying interest, but interest will go away. If interest goes away, profit will go up. I hope you have that much of brain. खर्चा कम हो गया, profit बढ़ता. Thank you. Intelligent student. Another secret of teaching industry. लिख के ले. ऐसा कुछ आंसर दिया बच्चे ने ना 500 रुपए पेटीएम करने का. So पेटीएम करो. Concept. Profit will go up. Number of shares will also go up. You have to find net effect of the 2. I say 50 lakh will not be my profit. My profit will be 58 lakh. How come 58 lakh? Interest will go away, due to which your profit will change. Obviously, na yaar. Matlab 8 lakh rupees was the interest. That interest is gone. समझा क्या? But number of shares which was 2 lakh might become 2.5 lakh. Why 2.5 lakh? You are converted debentures. So what I am doing? Wait, stop. I ask a question to myself. In the current year, had all convertible debentures were actually converted into equity shares, what would have been the earning per share? Bouncer. Wapas. What is actual profit in the P&L? I want response from everyone, including the last bench and the candidates behind the pillar whom I can't see. What is the actual profit? What is the actual number of shares? So what is the profit per share? 25 rupees. But in the balance sheet I read one line. What is that line? We have convertible debentures. So I ask next question to myself. What would have been? Question pucho. What would have been? Earning per share of the current year. Earning per share of the current year. Had. मतलब not actually. Had. English समझता ना? Imaginary. Had you not been doing a CA course, what you could have been doing? Gotia. So had all convertible debentures been B-E-E-N, had all convertible debentures been converted into equity shares, what, I repeat my question, what would have been? EPS of future year? No. What would have been the EPS of same year? Why same year? I should compare apple with apple, not apple with orange. I want to compare something with what? 25. 25 is the EPS of current year, na? You wanna go mad? Yes. So question is, what would have been EPS of current year had convertible debentures been converted into equity shares? To answer this question, what do I need? Both numerator and denominator should change. Yes. That's what online public is saying. They are also understanding. So we teach online students also. So numerator change from 50 lakh to 58 lakh. Denominator also change. What is the answer? 22? 23 Do you wanna go mad? जिस चीज के बारे में आपको जानना था वो आज आपको पता चल चुकी है. बहुत बार आपने ये चीज देखी होगी लेकिन आपको कभी समझी नहीं होगी. इसको बोलते हैं डाइल्यूटेड ईपीएस. कभी आपने फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट्स पढ़े होंगे तो आपको दो ईपीएस मिले होंगे. इसको बोलते हैं बेसिक अर्निंग पर शेयर 25 को, और नीचे वाले आइटम को 23.2 को बोलते हैं डाइल्यूटेड अर्निंग पर शेयर. कितने लोगों ने पढ़ा था लेकिन मालूम नहीं था? हाथ ऊपर करिए. देखो, वी एम्पावर पीपल. बड़े बड़े फेंकने का. इट्स अ बेसिक थिंग, it's nothing advanced. So 20 basic EPS is what you have actually earned in that year. Diluted EPS is imaginary. What would be the EPS of this year had the conversion taken place? It's an indication to you. Diluted means decline. Dilution means decrease. There's a dilution in the quality of the students who are joining CA course over the years. Decrease in the quality. There's a dilution in earning per share from what? There is a dilution in the earning per share from what? 25 to 23.2. There is a dilution in earning of company from 25 to what? 23.2. Do you understand dilution? Yes. Anyone has a doubt? So ये कब समझ में आएगा? जब notes to account में. Now this also you have to show by doing a calculation. But to do that calculation, you need to know how many debentures are likely to be converted. Now it can be debentures, it can be options given to employee. Option given to employee. Option given for what? Option to buy. Buy what? Shares. When? In future. मैंने डाउट पूछा? मैंने बोला डाउट? बिल्कुल डाउट नहीं लेने वाला मैं. So कन्वर्टिबल सिक्योरिटीज कितने हैं? नोट्स टू अकाउंट में आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. टर्म्स ऑफ एनी सिक्योरिटीज कन्वर्टिबल इनटू प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स और इक्विटी शेयर्स along with the earliest date of conversion. Unpaid calls कितने हैं? Showing aggregate value of unpaid call from director officers. If there are any unpaid calls, you should discuss. Forfeited shares कितने? Shares forfeit कब होते हैं? When any investor has not paid the amount of allotment money or call money, we forfeit the shares. Forfeit मतलब we cancel the shares. Disclosure regarding shares held by promoters. Promoter के all the shares you have to give disclosure. Other than promoter, 5% is a criteria. SEBI criteria is 1%, but MCA criteria is 5%. Where do you give all these disclosures? Notes to accounts. So अब तक क्या सीखा बच्चों हमने? दो आइटम, शेयर कैपिटल एंड रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, बाकी आसान है. बिकॉज दिस इज समथिंग न्यू फॉर यू पीपल. असेट्स वगैरह जो इन्वेंट्री डेटर्स वो तो क्या तुमको मालूम है यार. सो यू हैव टू गिव द डिस्क्लोजर्स. हमने क्या क्या सीखा इसमें? बोनस शेयर सीखा, स्प्लिट सीखा. हाउ डज द प्राइस ऑफ शेयर कम डाउन बिकॉज ऑफ बोनस शेयर्स? We understood that. Split also we understood. Bonus is nothing but conversion of reserves into. Reserves के बारे में हमने बहुत सारा चीज सीखा. We also understood yesterday out of the syllabus thing, price to book value ratio. I explained something called as what? Price to book value. Price of a share upon book value. You will learn lot about price to book value as you progress in this journey of the CA course. There is another ratio, price to earning ratio. You will learn about that ratio also afterwards. So you have to give these disclosures. Example देखो क्या है? In the financial statements of the year, Alpha Limited has mentioned in its notes to accounts that 24,000 shares of 10 each were issued as fully paid bonus shares. Why? You have to give the details of bonus shares in the last 5 years. कौन सा डिटेल देना था? बोनस शेयर्स, बायबैक, उनका डिटेल देना था ना आपको. And shares issued for consideration other than cash in last 5 years from the balance sheet date. आपको डिटेल देना है. So you have said that you have given a bonus shares. However, source from which bonus shares are given is not disclosed. Source मतलब कल मैंने बोला था आपको, हमने एक चार्ट बनाया था. Bonus shares can be given from divisible profits and capital profits, but not all capital profits. Certain eligible capital profits, which are security premium and capital reserve, realized in cash. Can a revaluation reserve be used? No. Is non-disclosure a violation of Schedule 3? What they did not disclose? Source of bonus issue. What did they disclose? They disclosed that the bonus issue was done. This PDF is already shared on the Telegram group, और यहाँ पे जो है physical collect कर लेना. आपस में नहीं बोलूँगा. Is it a non-disclosure a violation? Answer is no. Why? Schedule 3 ने क्या लिखा था? You have to just say aggregate number and the class of share. Class मतलब you can have different classes of shares. Class A, Class B, Class C. Every class has different rules, different price, different terms and conditions. Schedule 3 simply says aggregate number and class of shares allotted as fully paid by way of a bonus. What is not required to be disclosed? Source of bonus is not required to be disclosed. Schedule 3 ने क्या बोला? Disclose how many bonus shares you gave. Full stop. From where you gave? कहीं नहीं लिखा है. So, is it a violation? No. Why is it not a violation? Schedule 3 requires just number of shares given by way of a bonus. Okay, before I proceed ahead, I just want to tell you one important thing as a student. Since yesterday, I got a lot of students after the lecture, even today before the lecture, asking a doubt about fraction shares. वो जो bonus के ऊपर fraction था ना, मैंने आपको बोला था, bonus, there is a ratio of bonus and then there is a fraction that comes up sometimes because you might not own the shares in the same ratio. So I said for fraction we pay cash. What I saw among the students, sir, what if the ratio is this? What if the fraction comes like this? What students, as a professional, please understand in your life, do not focus on small, chindi, immaterial, chiller things. Fraction is always immaterial. There is one basic concept which I say I taught to you in AS1 CA Foundation. Materiality. Think only about material items. How will the cash be distributed? How will that be calculated? What if I don't own the shares? Why fraction is not allowed in India? These are all irrelevant things. Do not waste your time and energy in thinking, reading about something which is immaterial. As a chartered accountant, I see majority of the CAs focusing on micro things, small chiller things. You will always remain at lower level. Think macro. Why do we need to? मैंने bonus shares का price का impact बोला boss. वो थोड़ा अच्छा वाला point था. Bonus shares करते क्यों है? How do I convert? मतलब investors are asking for dividend. How do I stop them from asking a dividend? How do I reduce the price of a share? Those were the important points. Doubts were coming up from what? Fraction. Just, it's not, those who are asking doubt, is nothing wrong from your side. But thinking, you should develop in a manner which is macro. The biggest difference I see among a chartered accountants and let's say MBAs from top colleges only, you should not compare CA with any MBA. After a few days it might be comparable unfortunately. जो क्वालिटी आ रहा है प्रोफेशन में आजकल, अपने आँख पे तो थोड़ा बहुत ठीक क्वालिटी है. बाय द टाइम थोड़ा और ठीक करूंगा मैं बैच खत्म होते टाइम तक. the biggest difference that I see is that MBA or the top-notch people, they will not focus on small calculation-oriented things. They'll focus more on interpretation. They'll focus on bigger scheme of the things rather than focusing on what? Small things. I hope you understand that. Correct? So share capital का disclosures हो गया. Then reserves के बारे में disclosure करना है. Reserves also we learned. Which were the categories of reserves? Capital reserves and what? Revenue reserves. I hope you understood. Yes. So reserve surplus should be divided into capital reserve, capital redemption reserve. We'll learn this in buyback chapter. This is also capital reserve. You will realize the logic of CRR. This CRR has nothing to do with RBI CRR. RBI has a cash reserve ratio. This is totally different. इसका logic explain करना पड़ेगा तुमको मेरे को. Buyback chapter में आएगा. This is used for issuing bonus shares. CRR can be used only for bonus. What is CRR? I have not explained. Headline but. CRR, capital redemption reserve, can only be used for bonus. आपके पास नोटबुक, मल्टी कलर पेन्स वगैरह सब कुछ होना चाहिए. इतना ज्यादा लिखना चाहिए आपने कि यू शुड गो मैड. क्या लिखा तुमने? CRR can only be used for what? Bonus shares. CRR can only be used for giving bonus shares. There is no other use of CRR. What is CRR? आएगा. Securities premium. When do you get a premium? Whenever you issue shares above face value. You cannot issue shares below face value. There are few exceptions, but very rare cases are there. Debenture redemption reserve. Just like CRR, whenever you redeem debentures, you have to create a DRR. It is again a capital reserve. You cannot pay dividend out of it. Debenture redemption reserve is created for redeeming debentures. Redeeming matlab repaying. Revaluation reserve. When do you create a revaluation reserve? When you increase the value of fixed asset. I did not say decrease. When you increase, when you decrease the value of fixed asset, it is called as impairment loss. What is it known as? Impairment loss. Which is also in your syllabus now because of new accounting standard, which is introduced in inter syllabus. Share options outstanding account. This comes up when you give ESOP. ESOP के टाइम पे आता है. Share options outstanding. I have given you ESOP. ESOP is employee stock option plan. I have given ESOP. Have I given you shares? No. When will I give shares? In future, after 2-3 years, if you fulfill certain conditions. During those 2-3 years, I have to debit cost in my profit and loss account. I have to debit a cost in my profit and loss account. Something I have to debit in my P&L. That something which I have to debit to my P&L has a corresponding credit effect. I debit P&L and credit what? Share options outstanding account. Why we call it outstanding? Because so far shares are not issued. Shares might be issued in future. So I repeat again. Who am I? Company. Who are you? Option diya. There is a cost of that option. Because I am giving you shares at a lower price than the fair price. ESOPs are always given at a lower price. Why? Otherwise employees will go in a market and buy, na? So options are given at lower price. Uska cost hota hai. That cost is debited to P&L and credited to this account. What is the account? Employee or share options outstanding account. It can be employee option or it can be something else. Option can be given to promoters also. Not necessarily just the employees. It can be given to top management also. So that amount will be shown on the liability side under share option outstanding account. And from here, it will go to capital. When it will go to capital? When shares are actually issued. When will shares be issued? In future. So on your screen, P&L account debit, two options outstanding account. This entry I will pass every year to book the cost. And once option is actually exercised, exercise matlab shares issue karna hai. Option exercise matlab shares will be issued. We will pass entry options outstanding account debit to share capital account. Premium पे issue किया तो to premium also. हाँ? P&L two options outstanding every year. Options outstanding को क्या हो गया? Credit balance. That credit balance of options outstanding account is transferred to share capital account. When shares are issued, what will be the entry? Shares outstanding account debit, or sorry, share option outstanding account debit to share capital account to securities premium if shares are issued at premium. Other reserves, if you have created any other reserves. If you have created any other reserve. Surplus, that is a balance in P&L account. General reserve, any other reserve का example क्या है? General reserve. कुछ भी. General reserve. Surplus, that is a balance in what? Statement of what? Profit and loss. ये कौन सा P&L रहता है बच्चों? Balance sheet में जो P&L रहता है, it is always P&L appropriation account. P&L appropriation account means that's a balance remaining after appropriating dividend. Whatever profit you earn, from that you deduct dividend. From that you transfer something to reserves. And then the balance remains. The balance that remains is shown in the balance sheet under the heading P&L appropriation account. I had explained that yesterday. You can call it appropriation or you can call it as a surplus. Are you clear? Reserves? If reserves are represented, मैंने doubt बोला क्या यार? क्यों लोग तुम समझ नहीं सकते हो यार? Online public तुम लोगों को basics of communication क्यों नहीं समझता यार? I will take a doubt when I say doubt. Let me first explain the things. वहां पर online इतना सारा irritating public है ना यार. अरे 2 मिनट मेरे पॉइंट्स तो खत्म करने दो और कुछ भी चल रहा है यार. 2 मिनट मेरे पॉइंट्स को मेरे को एक्सप्लेन करने दो यार. मेरा एक्सप्लेनेशन ही खत्म नहीं हुआ सर. Reserves represented by earmarked investment. Earmarked investment are specific investments that are created against a reserve. This reserve, and against this reserve, this specific investment is made. Then we call it as a fund. Instead of reserve, we call it as what? Fund. For example, we have created a reserve for construction of building, and against that we have owned fixed deposit, or against that we have made a government security investment. So we'll call it a building fund 10 lakh, investment 10 lakh. Investment will on asset side. Huh? This was covered in CA Foundation NPO chapter. Reserves which are backed by earmarked. Earmarked means specific investment. Like in a house you have piggy bank. So one piggy bank for your marriage, one piggy bank for your higher education, one piggy bank, let us say, for emergency expenses. Earmarked. This money you should not put a money in piggy bank. Put it in mutual funds or index funds or equity. Reserves are specifically earmarked investment called as what? Fund. Debit balance in statement of P&L shall be negative figure under the head surplus. Debit balance is loss. So losses will be negative. P&L ka balance can be negative. Negative means loss. Similarly, the balance of reserve surplus, after adjusting the negative balance of surplus, if it is positive, we will still be shown under the head reserves and surplus. So, bachcho, total of reserves, can it be negative? Yes. Why negative? Loss. Can it be positive? Yes. See, it can happen that few items are positive and few items are net total. If it is positive, still shown on the liability side. Net total, if it is negative, still shown on liability side in bracket. Are you clear? Now let me explain some wonderful point on this. कि कैसा है? क्या सीखा है हमने अब तक? Share capital and reserves. These are very, very important items to understand. Share capital at face value, reserve surplus. There can be numerous reserves that you can create. Many reserves that you can create. Whatever. Building reserve, general reserve, dividend equalization reserve. ऐसा एक होता है. कोई करता नहीं है ये सब. Bookish लोगों के कीड़े हैं ये. Dividend. In the current year, I have made too much of profit. In the next year, I want to pay dividend out of it. So I transfer the current year's profit to dividend equalization reserve. So that in the next year, if I make a low profit, I will transfer the profit to, I will pay dividend out of dividend equalization reserve. These are the bullshit things written by bullshit outdated people. Today, there is no such requirement. If you earn a profit in the current year, don't even transfer to any reserve. Keep profit as it is. You can always pay dividend. In which year? Next year. कल मैंने बताया था कि नहीं? Whatever profit you keep in P&L account, you can always transfer it to. Sorry, you can always pay dividend out of it. In which year? Any year, provided you have money. समझा? अब मैं कुछ 2-3 खतरनाक पॉइंट बोलेगा. 15-20 मिनट लग सकता है मेरे को. काम के पॉइंट है, सिलेबस के, फालतू का जनरल नॉलेज नहीं. ठीक से सुनना है. तो रिजर्व्स, कैपिटल रिजर्व आ गया, सीआरआर आ गया, सिक्योरिटी प्रीमियम, डिबेंचर रिडेम्पशन रिजर्व. कैन यू यूज ऑल रिजर्व्स फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ डिविडेंड? नो. Those reserves which can be used for payment of dividend are known as divisible reserves and others are known as capital reserves. Are you clear about this? Look at it. देखना शुरू, ठीक से सुनना. Listen up to this. कंसेप्ट बहुत अच्छा है, सुनना. Concept I'm explaining is erosion of capital. Erosion of capital. Let's say 2015, a company raised capital by issuing shares. Share capital was 100 crore. Share capital was, and you had a reserves and surplus. That is basically, it will comprise of securities. You started a company. 2015, you just started a company. You raised the money either by public offer or by private offer. It doesn't make any difference whether it is a public offer or whether it is a, you raise 400 crore. At that time, P&L account balance was 0. Why 0? It was new company. So, आपका, what was total reserves? 400. 2023 end. You did not issue any further shares. Your share capital was same, 100 crore. Your security premium also remained same. But over the years, you made wonderful losses. Why you made wonderful losses? Whatever आपने किए. You made a losses of 700. So 700 will be shown in a bracket. Overall reserves are 300 bracket. कुछ समझा ना? 300. I'm not saying total of all. This is share capital, this is reserves, and therefore shareholders fund This is as per book value. Huh? Shareholders funds were how much? 500 earlier. That 500 has become negative 200. Have you understood negative 200? Reserves are negative 300, right? Shareholders fund which is positive 500 has become negative 200. कुछ समझा क्या? ये क्यों हुआ? This happened because of what? Losses. This happened because of losses. 500 became negative 200. That is because of loss of 700. 700 का लॉस हो गया. कुछ समझा क्या? तो 500 capital got converted into minus 200. But remember, this is known as the erosion of capital. Your capital is wiped off. It's as good as your father has given you money for investing in equity market and you choose the shares which are Yes Bank or Idea Vodafone kind of thing. And those companies are itself over. Your money is over. You have blown up your account. So it's like capital wiped off. But what I want you people to understand is, in the balance sheet, whenever you see net worth negative, shareholders funds are also known as net worth. Net worth, this is net worth as per your books of accounts. This is assets minus liabilities. Capital is nothing but assets minus liability, nare bachcho. Net worth is as per books of accounts. So you have negative net worth. Negative net worth means you have made a losses. Negative net worth basically means your business is now funded by debt. Why? How is the business going on then? That means over the years, you have financed your losses by taking more and more debt. Aapka capital to khatam ho gaya. How much capital you had? 500. So out of 500, you can bear the losses equal to 500. But how can net worth become negative? Your net worth became negative because you suffered a losses of 700. So aapka loss kitna hai? 700 hai na? Loss is equal to 700. Am I right? Yes. Borne by equity. Ultimately, everything should be borne by. Okay, borne by nahi. Abhishek, useless. Financed by equity. Loss किया मतलब expenditure is more than the income ना. Equity में से कितना finance हुआ है? 500. Financed by debt. Financed by what? Debt. Financed by what? Debt. How much is the finance by debt? 200 is financed out of debt. Kaise? Loss should be financed somehow. How would you loss finance? Loss means what? Expenditure, excess of expenditure over what? Income. That is what a loss is. You are financing a loss out of equity and you are financing a loss partially out of debt. Do you understand? So, what I'm trying to explain to you people is, look at this T-form balance sheet in 2015 and the structure of that balance sheet in 2023. In 2015, your net worth was how much? 500 positive. Let us say at that time your assets were 900 because you had taken a debt of 400 का डेट था. तो लेट्स अज्यूम यू स्टार्टेड अ बिजनेस बाय टेकिंग इक्विटी ऑफ 500 and debt of 400. You started your business like that. But over the years, आपने इतना घटिया तरीके से धंधा किया कि आपके धंधे में इतने ज्यादा लॉसेस हुए कि आपका नेटवर्थ वाइप आउट हो गया. नेटवर्थ हैज बिकम 200 नेगेटिव. समझा तुमको? नेटवर्थ नेगेटिव 200 था ना. डेट might have gone up. Debt has to go up. So listen very, very carefully. You are gonna go mad. You are gonna go. Let us understand my debt, which was earlier 400. I have financed my losses by debt worth 200. So my debt should be minimum 600. But I want to take my debt at 700. आप बोलेंगे why? I might have used additional debt for expansion. You will go mad. Just a second. This is 500. कुछ समझा कि टोटल बैलेंस शीट का? आप बोलेंगे ये क्या हुआ है? Just wait बच्चों. This is a basic of foundation. First thing that you all learn: asset minus liability equal to equity. अब देखो. What is reduction of assets over the years? Reduction of assets कितना हुआ है? 900 minus कितना है? Reduction in asset is profit or reduction in asset is a loss? Basics है. And your liability has gone up. Increase in liability is 700 minus 400 equal to 300, which is also a loss. If a liability is going up, it's a loss. If assets are going down, it's a loss. Recollect partnership 11th standard or 12th standard revaluation account. Revaluation account credit side was profit, increase in asset. What is it? Magic. Loss of 700. This 700 you have financed from equity. Reduction of equity. Loss हो गया तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? फाइनेंस तो करना पड़ेगा ना मेरे को. रिडक्शन इन इक्विटी कितना है? टोटल 700. Ultimately, now listen. This entire loss, who should bear it? Equity holder. Exactly. If you find out रिडक्शन इन इक्विटी इज 700. अब बोले 700 कहां से? पॉजिटिव 500 था. प्लीज लिसन अप. देयर इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट. इवन वेरी वेरी फ्यू पीपल नो दिस. 500 was your net worth positive, which has become reduction in equity is how much? Which is loss. But आप बोलोगे सर इधर तुमने 500 ही लिखा था. लॉस 700 का हुआ है. बट इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स हैव नॉट फंडेड द एंटायर लॉस. उन्होंने तो 500 रुपया ही डाला था. 200 रुपया उन्होंने अभी तक डाला ही नहीं. हम उनसे निगेटिव नेटवर्थ मतलब हम उनसे पैसा रिसीवेबल दिखा रहे हैं. वी आर शोइंग 200 रिसीवेबल फ्रॉम इक्विटी होल्डर्स. बॉस, कंपनी इज अ लिमिटेड लाइबिलिटी कंपनी. इक्विटी होल्डर्स आर नॉट बाउंड टू पुट अ सिंगल रुपी. सो आपने क्या सीखा अब तक? लॉसेस आर टू बी बोर्न बाय equity holders. Losses are to be borne by equity holders, which is correct. Loss is to be borne by equity holders. That is why we are showing loss of 700. We are showing 200 receivable from equity holders. But remember, in reality, what happens is this loss ultimately debt holders को होगा. Why debt holders को loss होगा? Because equity holders have limited liability. They don't put the money in the company, and then the debt holders sue the company in NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal, and they say, wind up this company. By winding up company, let us assume you can recover only 500 in assets. If you recover 500 in assets, who will get 500 rupees? डेट होल्डर, बट डेट होल्डर्स को पेएबल कितना है 700, लॉस किसका हो गया डेट होल्डर। अकाउंटिंग में हम दिखाते क्या है, लॉस इज टू बी बोर्न बाय इक्विटी होल्डर। कैसा मामू बनाया तुमको। इन अकाउंटिंग वी शो नेगेटिव नेटवर्थ। Remember, the moment you show negative net worth, you are saying money is receivable from equity holder. But boss, legally they are not supposed to pay. It's as good as me and this fellow, Samarth. We are friends. He wants to give party to his girlfriend. He wants to give party to his parents. He needs some money. पेरेंट नहीं है यार, पेरेंट के लिए पैसा वापस देगा वो। फ्रेंड, हाँ फ्रेंड, हाँ। He wants to give party to his friend. He takes some money from me, right? He never pays back. It is like a debt for him. Remember, debt holders also suffer a loss. Exactly like this. I give a loan to him and he doesn't repay back. I suffer a loss. Same thing happens in business also. Lenders do suffer a loss. In accounting, in the financial statement, we say loss is to be suffered by or loss is to be borne by. The point I want to tell to you, bachcho, reduction in equity is your loss. Loss is 700. Loss is 700. So, loss is 700. But that loss is financed by whom? And debt holders. Debt holders also bear. ये आपको दिमाग में फिट करना। क्यों? इसके ऊपर पूरा एक 15 माह का चैप्टर है, रिकंस्ट्रक्शन। मैंने आपको इंट्रोडक्शन में बोला था, कंपनीज गो इनटू फाइनेंशियल रिकंस्ट्रक्शन। इन एवरी क्वेश्चन इन रिकंस्ट्रक्शन चैप्टर we will have negative net worth. The moment net worth is negative, negative net worth means we are showing money receivable from whom? Equity shareholder. We are showing money receivable from equity shareholder. कुछ समझा तुमको? But equity shareholders don't contribute that money. The moment they don't contribute the money, lenders suffer a loss. So loss is supposed to be borne by equity holders. Loss is supposed to be borne by, but debt holders also suffer a losses like this. Institute has kept one entire chapter of 15 marks on this. But that chapter will not give you this perspective. Chapter is about journal entries, but you must understand what do you mean by erosion of capital. When the capital comes down, it is because of losses. 500 positive became 200 negative. Loss is 700, but who finances loss? Debt holders also finance a loss. How? Earlier debt was 400. Now the debt is, they are given 300 crores additional. Out of 300 crore, they have given additional or interest is payable to them. Whatever you can say. उनको पैसा मिलने वाला है क्या? यही होता धंधे में. Especially the businesses which have negative net worth. It's a very good point. This is the point which leads to bankruptcies of the company. Why did I explain? In case you read, there was one student who was trying to ask a question to me in the break. I was a little happy. One of the largest real estate developer of the entire world has filed for a bankruptcy like this day before yesterday. Evergrande from China. It is the largest private sector real estate developer in the entire world in China. It has filed for a bankruptcy right now. Legal processes क्या है वो आपके दिमाग के बाहर है, but what you need to understand is who will suffer the losses. People think that whenever the bankruptcy is filed, equity holders will suffer losses. Answer is no. Equity holders have limited liability. They have already borne the loss equal to the capital that they have put in. How much capital equity holders had put in? In 2015, they had put in 500. So their loss legally can't exceed 500 unless they themselves say, okay, we will give more money for bearing losses. They are the fools. Why they are fools? If you think whether equity holders are legally bound, equity holders are not legally bound for what? Equity holders are not legally bound for paying for losses. कुछ समझा क्या? Concept का नाम क्या है? Erosion of capital. Erosion of capital means net worth becomes negative. When net worth becomes negative, bachcho, how will the business go on? Business has to go on by only one way. That only one way is a debt. Now you will say, sir, why debt holders are giving a loan then? Debt holders, initially when they gave a loan, they were optimistic that the business will become, or business will be profitable and they will get their money back. But over the years, business went into what? Losses. But उसके बाद भी डेट होल्डर्स पैसा क्यों देता है? अंडरस्टैंड करो ये पॉइंट. मैंने लोन दिया था, लॉस में गया बिजनेस, उसके बाद भी मैं लोन देता उसको. आप बोलेंगे क्यों? Under the hope that with additional loan, at least some more recovery can be done. क्यों? With additional loan, business will grow, and if the business grows, I can get back that additional loan as well as original loan. Can it happen? Yes. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan went into this kind of a trouble and a personal level bankruptcy. Personal level as well as his company he had formed, Amitabh Bachchan Entertainment Limited, or some, I forgot the name of the company, ABPL ही था, Amitabh Bachchan some company he had formed and which had sponsored Femina Miss India and other programs, and he made one movie with Madhuri Dixit where he was a hero and Madhuri Dixit who was age of almost his daughter. It didn't go well initially, but Amitabh Bachchan recovered out of it. How? He took additional support. Dhirubhai Ambani was the one who had offered him a loan. Amitabh Bachchan did not accept. He said, I'll bounce back. And he bounced back. But in case of, that is a personal life, just ignore about it. In case of a business, lenders do give additional loan in the hope that business will recover and they will get back their own loan. They are not wrong. This is in real life known as, listen to the word, corporate debt restructuring. Corporate debt restructuring, which is reconstruction. We don't have accounting of this. Reconstruction is in your syllabus. Reconstruction is in our syllabus. Corporate debt restructuring. So I just sum up on the point. Don't try to search too much on this. I'll sum up. Summary is, whenever your equity is wiped off or eroded, equity shareholders bear losses, but they don't finance that loss. Some loss is financed by whom? Lenders. Lenders have to finance some loss. There is no choice. Why lenders have no choice? क्या करेंगे क्या यार? कुछ कर नहीं सकते. समझा तुमको? क्यों हो गया? रिपीट 4 बार अब तक मैंने बोला ये. Losses are to be borne by equity holders, but equity holders bear limited loss. There is a liability is limited. So beyond limited liability, whatever excess loss is there, ultimately that excess losses go to whom? Debtors nahi, debt holders. Debtors is different. There are many businesses which run in a loss like this. In some cases, there is a hope for recovery. Since there is a hope for recovery, lenders keep on giving money. Or in some cases, lenders don't give money. So who puts the money? If a business is in loss and lenders are not giving money, then equity holders have to keep on pumping more and more money. Equity holders have to pump money. Otherwise, business will be over. Byju's is right now going through the same problem. Byju's is trying to raise loan. It had raised one loan to finance its business. An academy is going through the same problem. They are making wonderful losses on their operations. So how do we finance a loss? Loss has to be financed either by equity or by what? Debt, or combination of the two. I must know by looking at the financial statement how that loss is financed. ये मैंने क्यों बताया आपको? आपके सिलेबस में आगे जाके एक रिकंस्ट्रक्शन चैप्टर है. In the entire reconstruction chapter, our net worth is going to be negative. Negative net worth means your capital is eroded. You have to do something. Either you have to introduce additional capital or take a debt or try to resolve your business. Otherwise, lenders can go to the court and file a case for winding up in case there is no scope of recovery. What action will be taken in real life? That depends. Like an academy is making losses, 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐻 is making losses, but still they are optimistic that at some point of time they will become profitable. And because of that, they are still functioning. Lenders are still giving what? Money to them. Some investors are still putting more money in 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐻. You will hear it out in next around second week to third week of September. You should get a news that 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐻 has received additional funding. I'm a shareholder. So, most probably it is likely. Why? There is optimism. Some people have optimism like company will become profitable, but they will look out for an extreme high bargain deal. They will give money to 𝐒𝐻𝐽𝐻, but for a very high rate of interest or high ownership percentage. How will that be done? That is negotiation. That is none of your business. I just wanted to introduce a spark in your mind. But let me tell you something important. Two things happened while I was explaining this. I kept my calm. यश सिंघवी करके कोई तो ऑनलाइन बच्चा है. क्या बकवास पढ़ाता है ये. And there's another message. Yash Singhvi. Just I received while I was explaining the similar concept. एक जगह पे यश सिंघवी है और एक जगह पे ये है जो स्क्रीन पे आएगा. अभी जस्ट आया 5:39. I'll explain. Good evening, sir. Hans Mittal here from May 23 Inter batch. He is already in CA final. Hope you are doing good. Was watching your YouTube demo lectures and it felt like if given a choice, I would sit in your inter class to learn the concepts all over again because no one else bothers to introduce them. I hope your current students realize the value that they are going to receive over the next few months because he has gone through that process. Hope to learn from you in the final classes again very soon. 1 सितंबर से चालू कर रहा हूँ उनका बैच. एक जगह पे नफरत है, एक जगह पे प्यार है. यही चीज हमारे कंट्री में हो रहा है. हिंदू मुस्लिम डिबेट भी हो रहा है एक जगह पे हिंदू मुस्लिम का भाईचारा भी है. यश सिंघवी बेटा, अगर तेरे में थोड़ा बहुत भी हिम्मत है, थोड़ा बहुत, इत्तू सा भी, कोई धमकी नहीं दे रहा, थोड़ा बहुत भी हिम्मत है, तेरा तो सच का नाम नहीं रह गया. आई नो दिस पीपल चेंज द नेम. सामने आ जा बेटा. तेरे को समझा नहीं मतलब दैट इंडिकेट्स हाउ मच इज योर IQ लेवल. तेरे को किससे बात कर रहा है, क्या आदमी है, तेरे को डू यू इवन नो 1% ऑफ माई लाइफ एंड यू हैव गॉट राइट टू कमेंट. This is what happens on a social media. The people do not know anything. On Twitter, I remember whatever I had started on the Twitter journey during a lockdown. I started explaining certain stocks, certain businesses, and certain ideas about business and other things. और ICI का that time I was elected member of the institute. Chartered accountants ने मुझे elect किया था, not students. And I wrote about why students should focus on studies rather than criticizing ICI. एक दिन में मुझे कुछ तो 1001 गालियां दी थी बच्चों ने. I deleted Twitter account. I saw there's no point in educating these people. There are certain companies, certain businesses which I discussed. On that, since that date till today, I have earned 34% per annum. Amount I will not disclose. Amount is in crores, upwards of crores. And that I had shared all publicly. For the CA students, primarily audience was CA students and chartered accountants. I can show you the return. मैंने November 23 के बच्चों के बैच का प्रोसेस सिर्फ रिटर्न अमाउंट दिखाया, ने उनको सिर्फ रिटर्न दिखाया. And all of that I was doing for free. I'm not interested in any single rupee यार. पैसा कमाना ही तो बहुत सारे तरीके में तुमको सिखा के मेरे को पैसे जो मिलते हैं उससे बहुत ज्यादा मैं कमा सकता है, बहुत ज्यादा, मतलब बहुत ज्यादा, लिमिट भी नहीं है. If I decide to just mint money. इन लोगों को मतलब बॉस, these are the concepts तुमको कहीं नहीं सीखेगा. इरोजन ऑफ कैपिटल, एंड आई एम नॉट टीचिंग इट फॉर टाइम पास. इसके ऊपर पूरा 15 मार्क का चैप्टर है तुमको. एंड व्हेन यू अंडरस्टैंड शेयर कैपिटल नेटवर्थ, यू मस्ट नो दिस बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ बिजनेस फ्रॉम अ बैलेंस शीट. ना अब बच्चों को ये समझ में नहीं आता है और इतना लिखने का. तो दूसरा एक बच्चा भी, उसने कमेंट दिया, कौन है, 𝐶𝐚𝐥𝐬𝐨𝐫𝐭 लधवानी, हम भी प्यार वाले हैं सर, आपकी वजह से तो सीए बने. कमलेश लधवानी 2011 का बैच, बराबर कमलेश? 8 साल प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूं सर, फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट सीए बनाऊं बिकॉज ऑफ यू. 8 साल से सीए बहुत है. पुराने जमाने में ये यश सिंघवी वाला जो बच्चा का परसेंटेज था ना, वो 0% था. गौरव अग्रवाल 2008 का बैच, कनाडा में, अभी कनाडा यूएस पूरा मैरियट का ऑपरेशन हेड करता है. सिलीगुड़ी से आया था, सिलीगुड़ी कर लास्ट पॉइंट बॉर्डर का, इंडिया का लास्ट बॉर्डर पॉइंट पे, वहां से सीखने आया था. उस जमाने में मतलब तो चलो सोशल मीडिया वगैरह कुछ था नहीं. बोले सर मेरे को सीए बन के जाना है, कुछ भी करो मेरे को ये चीजें सिखाओ. सीपीटी था उनके टाइम पे, सीपीटी टू फाइनल. आर्टिकलशिप उसको मैंने दिल्ली में लगवाया था क्योंकि फैमिली वगैरह वहां पे था. बोले फाइनल मैं नहीं कर सकता सर दिल्ली में, कुछ भी करो, मैं वापस आएगा तुम्हारे घर पे, मेरे को जिधर बैठने को जगह दे सकते हो तुम उधर दो. तो उस टाइम पे इंदुलाल में लाइब्रेरी होता था, उधर ही बैठता था, उधर ही लाइब्रेरी में सोता था, उधर ही करता था. मैरियट हेड करता है आज, पूरा मैरियट का नॉर्थ अमेरिका का बिजनेस हेड करता है, कंप्लीट. इन बच्चों को ना, अभी वो यश सिंह भी बेटा, तेरे को कुछ ABCD भी मालूम नहीं बेटा मेरे बारे में, तेरे को मालूम ही नहीं कंसेप्ट, तो तेरे को किसने अधिकार दिया रे? अब यही चीज होती है. अब ये जब होती है ना, एक चीज है मैं इग्नोर कर सकता हूं इनको, दूसरा चीज होता है मैं सोचता हूं यार मैं क्यों कर रहा हूं, फिर पागल हूं मैं. उसके बाद मैंने ट्विटर अकाउंट डिलीट कर दिया. मैंने उसके बाद ट्विटर अकाउंट खोला, मैंने ट्विटर दुनिया देखना बंद कर दिया ट्विटर की. मैंने बोला यहां पे इतनी नफरत है तो मेरे को क्या करना है नफरत में जाके. और उस पैसे को मैं माय लॉजिक वाज बेसिकली एक्सप्लेनिंग द बिजनेसेस, डिफरेंट बिजनेसेस to the student, because there is no mechanism to connect to the old students. You will be connected with me till 31st of January. How will you be connected with me thereafter? I don't know. So final classes, उसके बाद फाइनल हो गया. उसके बाद बेटा अब वो कमलेश सुन रहा है, बॉस गौरव 2008 का बैच, still we are connected today. Still we are connected boss. There is a bond, because वो जमाने में जो bonding था, that bonding was not because of demo or not because of money, it was a bonding on account of intellect. It was bonding on account of intellect. Complete. मतलब अब तक में तुमको मालूम नहीं है पोटेंशियल क्या है. The number of people, number of students which I place in, I have about 35 students in Europe right now. Should be numbers in United States will be around 15, 16. That is basically because of the visa issues. Dubai should be upwards of 200. These are chartered accountants. These numbers, you don't even know the craziness of the money. Entire Amazon of the Middle East is being headed by a student. केदार काळे करके बंदा है, मैं बुलाऊंगा. Johnson and Johnson control in the US is headed by Sagar Jindal. 2011 batch. Kedar was 2012. इतने सारे एग्जांपल्स दे सकता हूं यार तुमको. मैकेंजी की कंसल्टिंग में अब तक रिसेंट 10 साल में 6 बच्चे गए, 4 स्टूडेंट्स हैं. मैकेंजी हायर्स 1 or 2 CAs आउट ऑफ 8 to 10,000. इन्विटेशन लगता है वहां पर. अरे मतलब तुम लोगों को यू जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ दिस कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इरोजन ऑफ कैपिटल. व्हाई डिड आई एक्सप्लेन? You need to understand when you go through the financial statement, my net worth is negative. What happened in that company? Why did a net worth became negative? You should understand. जाने दो. इसलिए तेरे को क्या बोला था मैंने? कलयुग है. अमृतकाल जो है, सॉरी सॉरी. सो इरोजन ऑफ कैपिटल, इरोजन ऑफ कैपिटल कैसे होता है? Erosion of capital, this happens. Now there is a risk that a lenders have. Lenders carry a risk. आपको लग रहा है कि किसी बिजनेस को आप जब लोन देते हो तो कोई रिस्क नहीं रहता है, ऐसा नहीं होता है. जब लॉसेस होते हैं एंड द लॉसेस एक्सीड इक्विटी कैपिटल, लेंडर सफर द लॉस. इन दिस केस हाउ मच ऑफ द लॉस अमाउंट? लॉस वाज ऑफ हाउ मच? लॉस वाज 700. The moment loss exceeds amount of equity contributed or amount of equity with the business, excess goes to whom? Your daddy. Top of the page. If losses exceed amount of equity capital, if losses exceed what? Amount of whom? Equity capital, then lenders have to, lenders oblique debt holders have to bear, lenders oblique what? Debt holders have to bear what? Losses. Lenders have to bear what? Losses. कुछ तो बग है यार इस ऐप में. ऐप में या पेंसिल में बग है, क्या मालूम है. So that is the concept of erosion of capital. Let me explain one more point on this, which is what we are gonna require. तो losses अगर आपके हो गए तो प्रॉब्लम है. ये नेटवर्थ क्या है? नेटवर्थ इज एट अ बुक वैल्यू. नेटवर्थ इज बुक वैल्यू. क्या करूं यार? ब्लूटूथ बंद करके चालू करूं? सिर्फ उतने से होएगा क्या? जस्ट अ सेकेंड, कुछ तो इश्यू है इसमें. अभी सब कुछ करके हो गया रे. नहीं, निप का इश्यू नहीं है, ऐप का इश्यू है. ऐप पेंसिल का जो ऐप है ना, उसमें कुछ तो बग है. दिस इज अपडेटेड अबाउट लास्ट वीक. एप्पल ने अपडेट किया उसको. एप्पल का ओएस भी अपडेट हो गया है एंड ये ऐप भी अपडेट हो गया है. रिसेट मार के तो पक्का होएगा. इट विल टेक टाइम. जस्ट अ सेकेंड. यार आप क्या करें यार, इसको पेंसिल ही डिटेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है. जस्ट अ सेक. Oh God. क्या? हाथ से पागल है क्या? पेंसिल ही डिटेक्ट करना बंद कर रहा है. एक सेकंड रुको जरा, कुछ तो करना दो. दूसरे ऐप पे नहीं, पेंसिल ही डिटेक्ट नहीं कर रहा है. It is not detecting a pencil itself. Just a second. ऑफिस में दूसरा रहेगा तो देखते हो. नया नया वाला आईपैड का पेंसिल है ऑफिस में एक्स्ट्रा. किसी का आईपैड है क्या? नहीं चल रहा है, लेक्चर रुक गया. नहीं 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 वो नहीं. ऋषभ सर का या जीबी सर का आईपैड होगा ऑफिस में. देख जीबी सर का देख. ठीक है रहने दे, देखता हूँ. Just a second. Let me try restarting. Until that I'll explain. Just listen up. Shh. Erosion of capital I have already explained. Next one point which I want to explain. Listen, शांत हो जाओ बच्चों. You have assets, you have liabilities. मंडे से कोई डेमो वाला पब्लिक नहीं रहेगा. मतलब एडमिशन है तो ही अंदर आ सकते तुम क्लास के अंदर. जिसका फाइनेंशियल इशू मिल लो, ऑफिस स्टाफ है. मैं मतलब एंट्री करते टाइम पे उधर रुकेगा. और ऑनलाइन यूट्यूब वाला तुम गया, मतलब तुमको जिसने एडमिशन लिया उसको मिल जाएगा एक्सेस. वो स्टाफ कर देगा. डोंट वरी, डोंट इरिटेट. हो जाएगा. कैसे क्या है वो स्टाफ देखेगा. वो करते हैं बराबर. यू विल बी एबल टू सी इट. जस्ट अ सेकंड, लेट मी गिव इट अ ट्राई. द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट व्हिच आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग इज, हो गया अभी. इट्स सम ऐप इशू. इट्स नॉट अ हार्डवेयर इशू. कुछ तो सॉफ्टवेयर इशू है. इट्स अ सॉफ्टवेयर बग. रिस्टार्ट करके हो गया. नहीं नहीं नोट्स ऐप. अबे ओ वो आ गया आ गया. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट गिव रीडिंग. नेटवर्थ. नेटवर्थ इज, net worth is as per books of accounts. What does it mean? It is as per book value. Net worth is as per book value. It is not a market value of a business. Net worth is on a balance sheet. No, bachcho, balance sheet is prepared at a historical cost. कुछ समझा क्या? नेटवर्थ इज एट अ हिस्टोरिक, मतलब बैलेंस एज पर बैलेंस शीट है ना. सो इट इज एज पर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स. एज पर बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट मतलब ये क्या है? बुक वैल्यू है. नेटवर्थ इज एज पर व्हाट? बुक वैल्यू. है ना? आई होप एवरीवन अंडरस्टूड. नेक्स्ट, net worth is books of accounts. Yesterday I talked about price to book value ratio. Bachcho, your price is something different. The price is, book value is as a result of what you acquired in the past. This book value, in case you remember CA foundation or 11th 12th standard, you called it as a historical cost of your assets. Book value is what you have acquired in the past or at what price you acquired. But the market price of a business is not about the past. Price is about future. You are paying price today because you are going to get share in future profits. Future profits will be, like everyone expects future to be bright. You expect future to be bright, na? Yes. You expect to earn more money, na? Yes. You expect to make decent living, right? Future is bright, so future there is a growth expected, because of which the price paid may be more than, or generally price paid is more than book value. Price is not based on your assets. Price is paid for future profit. So when I told you one line yesterday, when you buy price of a share, when you buy shares, remember, you don't buy assets, you buy future profits. So price is for future profits, but obviously profits are going to be received by you in future. So 2 minute के लिए pending रखना. Price is basically what? Present value of future profits in a very simple language. ये profits नहीं होता है, cash flows लेते, but अभी समझने के लिए इतना काफी है. You are going to get a profits in future, but you are paying for that today. So you should find a present value of that. मैथ्स में आपने डिस्काउंटिंग सीखा था. वो डिस्काउंटिंग हमें बहुत बार करना है अकाउंट्स के अंदर, बहुत बार करना है डिस्काउंटिंग. सो प्राइस इज, book value is for what? Book value is historical cost of what you have purchased and what is appearing on your balance sheet minus your liabilities. Price upon book value is known as what? Price to book value ratio. हम इसको क्या बोलते हैं? PB multiple या ratio, whatever it is. This is going to help us in determining इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस. आगे जाके एक चैप्टर है ग्रुप 1 अकाउंट्स में. कोई आपको फालतू का चीज नहीं सिखा रहा हूं, सिर्फ वी नीड टू क्रिएट लिंक. सो व्हाट यू शो इन अ बैलेंस शीट इज अ बुक वैल्यू. रिमेंबर, द प्राइस इज समथिंग डिफरेंट. प्राइस इज फॉर फ्यूचर प्रॉफिट्स. दोनों चीज कंप्लीटली अलग है. अब ये प्राइस टू बुक वैल्यू रेशो, प्राइस माइट बी मोर देन द बुक वैल्यू, प्राइस माइट बी less. When price will be less than the book value, when the market expects that a future there is no growth, and if this company goes on to sell the assets, they will not even get equal to book value. This calculation can be done on a per share basis, calculation can be done on total basis. Let's say book value is 500, but the price is 400. It means market is expecting what? Company not to realize even its book value when it decides to go for liquidation. That's why market is paying just 400. But if you think that nahi yaar, if this company has a huge potential, you can buy. Now that is a personal choice. Person to person view about the future can be different. है ना? तो बैलेंस शीट में क्या दिखता है बच्चों? बैलेंस शीट में क्या दिखता है? बुक वैल्यू. है ना? आर यू क्लियर विद दिस? व्हाट यू गेट हियर? प्राइस. मार्केट में प्राइस रहता है. तो प्राइस, ये कैलकुलेशन अगर आप टोटल बेसिस पे करोगे तो इंस्टेड ऑफ प्राइस वी कॉल इट इज अ मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन. प्राइस की जगह पे हम क्या बोलते थे, याद है क्या तुमको? मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन क्या बेसिस पे रहता है रे? एक शेयर का रहता है या सारे शेयर्स का रहता है? इंस्टेड ऑफ द प्राइस ऑफ वन शेयर वी टेक अ प्राइस ऑफ ऑल द शेयर्स डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट? नेट वर्थ. डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट? नेट वर्थ. मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन divided by net worth is equal to what? Net worth is book value only na. This is price per share divided by book value per share. बच्चों मैंने दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई किया, न्यूमरेटर एंड प्राइस पर शेयर आई मल्टीप्लाई बाय नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स, आई गेट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन. बुक वैल्यू पर शेयर आई मल्टीप्लाइड बाय नंबर ऑफ शेयर्स, आई गेट नेट वर्थ. आर यू क्लियर? प्राइस समझा आपको? कम डाउन टू बैलेंस शीट अगेन. आई कम बैक टू द शेड्यूल 3 फॉर्मेट. बहुत सारी चीजें सिखाई क्योंकि ये इसके ऊपर मेजॉरिटी चैप्टर्स आगे जाके इसके ऊपर बेस्ड है, क्योंकि अगले आइटम्स कंपैरेटिवली आसान है. ये दो आइटम्स ऐसा है ना जो समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है यार. कौन से दो आइटम सिखाए बच्चों मैंने तुमको? शेयर कैपिटल एंड रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस. बहुत सारी चीजें लिखी है. यू हैव हॉलीडे टुमारो, सो व्हाट यू शुड बी डूइंग? रिवाइज. कम से कम तुम्हारा 20-30 पेजेस भर गया होगा. अगर किसी ने सारा नोटबुक में जो भी बक रहा हूं ना लिखा होगा ना, 20-30 पेजेस वुड हैव बीन ओवर इफ यू रोट व्हाट आई वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग. व्हाट आई वाज राइटिंग वाज लेसर. इट्स अप टू यू, डिपेंड्स ऑन द स्टूडेंट टू स्टूडेंट. जो क्या क्या मैंने बकाया, किसी ने अच्छे से लिखा होगा, किसी ने डर्टी पिक्चर बनाया होगा. सो कम बैक टू द बैलेंस शीट. दिस इज द फॉर्मेट ऑफ द बैलेंस शीट. Schedule 3, what are we going to present? Particulars, note number, current year and what? Current year and previous year. Shareholders fund, share capital and what? Reserves and surplus. दोनों चीजें क्लियर है. Share capital will be showing only face value. Reserve surplus is capital plus revenue. I go to the next item. Money received against share warrant. What is share warrant? It is an option. लिखो. What is share warrant? As a question लिखो. What is share warrant? What is share warrant? It is option given to promoters generally. प्रमोटर को देते हैं. इट इज ऑप्शन गिवन टू प्रमोटर्स जनरली टू बाय शेयर्स ऑफ अ कंपनी in future at a predetermined price at what? Predetermined price. कुछ समझा? At a predetermined price by taking some money from them today. By taking some money from them today. By taking some money from them today. Full stop. This money received is shown. This money received is shown on balance sheet. This money received is shown on balance sheet under the heading shareholder funds. Under the heading shareholders fund. सुन लेना क्या है. Under the heading shareholders फंड. बेसिक, बहुत बेसिक है. कंपनी के प्रमोटर है. आई वॉन्ट टू गिव द शेयर्स टू देम. सो लेट अस से right now current price of a share is something like this. I am giving an example, hypothetical example. Current price is rupees 480 per share. Current price is how much? 480 per share. I say to promoter, dear promoters, I मतलब कंपनी है. नॉर्मली Hello. Huh. Listen to this. I repeat again. Current price of a share is how much? 480 per share. ठीक है? 480 पर शेयर करंट प्राइस है. प्रोमोटर्स को मैं बोलता हूं पे ₹50 per share today for buying one share at ₹580 per share after 1 year from today. Now understand, this is a classic instrument used for manipulation also. In some, like, इसका कैसे यूज होगा ये बोलना बहुत मुश्किल है. Some cases I have seen manipulation, some cases I have seen genuine use. Promoters want to buy the shares at a certain price. What is the price? आज शेयर का प्राइस 480. They are not giving a money today and buying the shares. This is completely different instrument and a very, very dangerous instrument. Very, very dangerous. Can be used by you also to make a money. It's a risky one, huh? Extreme risky. Listen to this. Promoter को मैंने क्या बोला? कंपनी ने बोला, मतलब एक्चुअली प्रोमोटर ही कंपनी को बोलते हैं, कंपनी प्रोमोटर को बोलता है. फिर इस कंपनी इज कंट्रोल्ड बाय होम? प्रोमोटर बोल रहे कंपनी को, आई विल पे 50 रुपीज टुडे फॉर बाइंग एन ऑप्शन टू परचेस शेयर इन फ्यूचर. वेदर शेयर्स आर परचेस टुडे? नो, promoter will be buying the shares after what? 1 year. Promoter will be buying the share after 1 year. कुछ समझा गया? At what rate? 580 rupees. Promoter will be buying a share. 580 पे शेयर खरीदेगा प्रमोटर. समझा पक्का? But he will pay 50 today. Now after 1 year, what if the price is 500? Promoter will not exercise his right, or he may exercise if he still wants. It is his choice. After 1 year, he will have to buy the share at 580. Now tell me, generally when promoter will buy at 580? If share goes, or if share at that point of time is above 580. It is not 630, beta. Chup bet. He has paid 50 rupees already. This 50 in many cases is treated as an advance towards that 580. It may be treated additional amount also. Depends on a structure, depends on a contract. This 50 might be treated as what? Advance. Or 50 might be treated as a premium, like insurance premium. Understand, Crow? This is a dangerous instrument. There are a lot of regulations by SEBI on this. We are learning accounting, but we have to understand the instrument. So company takes a 50 rupees from promoter, gives him option to buy the share at 580. Out of 580, this 50 rupees can be treated as a advance payment or can be treated as a just the premium. Hana. Promoter at that point of time, after 1 year, he will have to pay 530 if it is treated as an advance. Or he will have to pay 580 if 50 is not treated as a. Imagine, Crow. Just imagine for 2 seconds. Price after 1 year is 700. Promoter will buy the shares at 580. If the price after 1 year is 500 only, he may buy, it is his choice. If he still wants to buy, it is his choice. Why will he buy? Don't ask me. It is his choice. It is not my choice. Is why will he still buy? If he wants a big quantity and he is not able to buy it in the market, he will buy it from the company at 580. कभी कभी बहुत बड़ी क्वांटिटी मार्केट में खरीदना मुश्किल होता है. क्यों मुश्किल होता है? सेलर ही नहीं होता है. मार्केट में आपको जो चाहिए, आप लोग क्या सोच रहे हो? 1-2 शेयर के हिसाब से सोच रहे हो. when I have to buy a huge quantity of shares, market में there might not be any seller to sell that much quantity. So promoter will buy the shares after 1 year at 580, out of which he might have paid 50 in advance. The 50 might be treated as advance or 50 might be treated as a premium. That depends. Generally 50 is treated as a premium. So promoter का cost कितना रहेगा? 50 he has paid today, plus he will have to pay 580. So cost to promoter will be 630. समझा तुमको? 630 is a cost to him. When he will exercise option, when the price is above 630. Normally, this money received in the balance sheet of the company is shown as a, not share capital. This 50 is shown as what? Money received against share warrant. कंपनी ने आज कितना रिसीव किया? अरे कंपनी ने आज कितना रिसीव किया? 50. And company agreed to issue shares in future. आप बोलेंगे ये होता क्यों है? In majority of the cases, this is used by promoter to increase his ownership when he knows that the company's share price is likely to be much higher, or when the company's share prices are falling and market में confidence नहीं है investors का. To bring the confidence, promoter says, I will buy 56 इंच का सीना है, मैं खरीद लूंगा शेयर, मैं शेयर खरीद लूंगा 580 पे 1 साल के बाद, उसके लिए मैं 50 रुपए आज कंपनी देता हूं. It is used as a statement by promoter to instill confidence. In case you understand English, it is a statement given by the promoter to increase the faith, confidence of whom? Existing investor. कुछ भी हो, मैं शेयर खरीदने वाला हूं. अब जब प्रमोटर खुद शेयर खरीदने वाला है तो बहुत सारे लोग क्या होते हैं, फिर निश्चिंत हो जाते हैं, यार उसको तो ज्यादा मालूम होगा ना धंधे के बारे में. Sometimes this is used to bring the confidence of investors back. Sometimes when promoter knows that the share price is likely to increase substantially in the near future. Substantially in the near future, price is likely to increase because of some great thing that is going to happen in the business. Promoter issues a warrant to himself. These options are very, very risky ones because these are insider trading. This is like an insider trading. Promoter knows. That's why there are a lot of rules and regulations of SEBI. Promoter should not. This should be used as a genuine instrument to put up the capital in a company. ये शेयर warrant का concept क्या है? Promoter wants to put a capital in the company, but he doesn't have money today. He has a money after 1 year, but he wants to lock in the price today. So he gives some price today. He pays certain premium today and says, I will buy it after 1 year. So promoter अपना stake या अपना जो ownership है वो क्या करता है? बढ़ाता है. Plus public को क्या करता है? Confidence देता है. अगर उस टाइम पे promoter ने शेयर नहीं खरीदा तो उसका 50 रुपया गया. 50 rupees is like an entry ticket you have bought. It's a ticket that you bought. Ticket allows you to buy the share at 580. It's a price that you pay for ticket. That's it. अब आपको टिकट यूज करके, मतलब वो जो 50 रुपए आपने पे किया उसके बेसिस पे आपको बाद में डिसाइड करना है whether you want to buy the share at 580 or you do not want to buy. But remember, ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट को एनालाइज करना आसान नहीं है. There is no one single method to analyze share warrant. Share warrants are not very, very popular among quality companies. Generally, you will see share warrants in a little lower quality company, generally. Why? These instruments are looked up as a insider trading instruments by the public at large. Why is promoter giving option to himself? Why is he willing to buy the shares at a lower price when he expects the share price to go up? What market expects? Promoter should come in the market and buy at a market rate. You are buying shares at 580 at that time. What if market rate is 800? What if market rate is 1000 at that time? You will still buy at. Now imagine, I am a promoter. I know share price is going to go to 1000 after 1 year because I am going to report very high profits next year. धंधे के बारे में किसको ज्यादा मालूम होता है? मेरे को मालूम है अगले साल शेयर 1000 में जाने वाला है, इसलिए मैं मेरे खुद को ही ऑप्शन देता हूं 580 का. मार्केट इसको अच्छे से देखता नहीं है, तो जो ठरकी लोग रहता है वो करता ही ऐसा. it is not a very good instrument, then we will say, sir, why is it allowed in a country? There can be genuine cases where business needs some money after 1 year, or business needs some money in future. Nobody is giving the money. Promoter is willing to give money, but promoter says, I don't have money today. बिजनेस को पैसे की तो बिजनेस पैसा कहां से लाएगा? प्रमोटर से लाएगा, बट प्रमोटर के पास भी आज पैसा नहीं है, तो बिजनेस गोज टू हुम? बैंक. एंड बिजनेस बैंक को बोलता है मेरे को पैसा दो. बैंक बोलती तुम्हारा प्रमोटर तुमको पैसा नहीं दे रहा है, तो हम क्यों दूं? सॉरी, हम क्यों दे? एंड दैट्स वेयर शेयर वारंट कम्स. व्हाट कंपनी सेज टू बैंक, ए बैंक, वेट, promoter will bring money for sure after 1 year. Promoter is buying a option for that today, and that money he is bringing in the company today. You please give us a loan today. Promoter will bring the money after 1 year. Now look at it. Does it make a sense? वापस वापस वापस. मैं एक फ्रॉड वाला केस बोल रहा है, एक अच्छा वाला केस बोल रहा है. दो केसेस बोलेगा. Why share warrants are used? देखो देखो, ये कंसेप्ट थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है. अकाउंटिंग, अब ये सब बिना बोले तो भी तुमको मैं बहुत अच्छे से सिखा सकता हूं. कैसे? बच्चों, शेयर वारंट का जो पैसा आया बैलेंस शीट लायबिलिटी साइड दिखाने का, जो पैसा कैश आया वो बैंक बैलेंस में दिखाने का. खत्म. पैसा आया ना 50 रुपए आज. अकाउंटिंग आपको किसका करना है? जो पैसा आया 50 रुपए आज, 50 रुपए आया, किधर दिखाएगा? बैंक बैलेंस. वो 50 लायबिलिटी, उसका क्रेडिट साइड पे भी इफेक्ट जाना चाहिए. क्रेडिट साइड पे किधर? मनी रिसीव्ड अगेंस्ट शेयर वारंट. खत्म. ये हो गया. वापस. अच्छा, fraud. On your screen, why share warrants are used, or how share warrants are used. Situation 1, business needs money today. They don't have it. They go to promoter. He also doesn't have it. They go to bank. Bank is not willing to lend unless promoter puts some money. So you are in a deadlock situation. So how do you solve this situation? आप क्या करते हो? बैंक को बोलते हो प्रमोटर आज कुछ तो दे रहा है. प्रमोटर आज एंड एग्रीइंग टू बाय शेयर्स आफ्टर. तो प्रमोटर तो 1 साल का पैसा डालेगा, इसलिए तुम धंधे में पैसा डालो. किसको बोलते हैं हम? बैंक को. तुम हमें लोन दो, प्रमोटर 1 साल के बाद पैसा डालेगा. वो जो प्रमोटर डालेगा उससे तुम्हारा बैंक लोन हम क्या करेंगे? रीपे करेंगे. अच्छा वाला केस है ये. बुरा वाला केस, बिजनेस को सच में पैसे की जरूरत नहीं है, कोई जरूरत नहीं, जेन्युइनली बिजनेस को जरूरत नहीं. मैं बुरा वाला एक केस, एक कंपनी का नाम मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ, यूट्यूब पे है, ये चल रहा है, बोलो या ना बोलो, वही सोच रहा हूँ. ये वाले केसेस बहुत अच्छे. ये राइट हैंड साइड क्या बोला मैं? बुरा वाला केस. बिजनेस को पैसे की जरूरत है क्या? बट प्रमोटर को मालूम है अगले साल बहुत अच्छा प्रॉफिट होने वाला है. तो प्रमोटर क्या करता है? खुद को ही वारंट देता है कुछ चिल्लर अमाउंट पे, एंड आगे जाके कंपनी बहुत बड़ा प्रॉफिट कमाती है, बहुत बड़ा शेयर प्राइस बहुत बढ़ जाता है, लेकिन प्रमोटर को शेयर सस्ते में मिलता है. प्रमोटर इंक्रीजेस हिज वेल्थ बाय पुटिंग अदर इन्वेस्टर्स इन ट्रबल. कैसे? प्रॉफिट सबको जाना चाहिए, लेकिन वो प्रॉफिट का कुछ शेयर प्रमोटर को भी जाएगा भी, एडिशनल शेयर. क्यों? प्रमोटर बाइज अ शेयर्स एट अ लोअर प्राइस व्हेन द प्राइस इज मच हायर. अब कौन सा केस रियलिटी में होता है वो जज करने के लिए तुम्हारे पास स्किल चाहिए. दैट्स व्हाई फाइनेंस इज अ आर्ट नॉट अ साइंस. आपको पास होने के लिए करना क्या है? ये जो 50 रुपया मिला वो लायबिलिटी साइड पे वो हेडिंग के अंदर दिखाने का. भाई ने बोला ना, दिखाने का. मनी रिसीव्ड अगेंस्ट व्हाट? शेयर वारंट. असेट साइड पे बैंक बैलेंस. इस तरीके से सिखाया ना तो लोगों को बहुत अच्छा लगा. अरे अपना भाई बात कर रहा है, मैं ना तुम्हारा भाई हूं. आई एम हियर टू गाइड यू. इंटेलेक्ट. अब समझा आपको? इट्स बेसिक थिंग यार. अब आई विल टेल यू द नेम ऑफ द कंपनी विच यूज्ड इट. इट्स अ बिग कंपनी नाउ, इट्स नॉट अ स्मॉल वन. नेक्स्ट, शेयर होल्डर फंड के अंदर कितने चीज आएंगे? वो 50 रुपए एज गुड एज शेयर कैपिटल. व्हाई? इट विल बिकम अ शेयर कैपिटल नेक्स्ट ईयर. इट्स अ शेयर कैपिटल इन वेटिंग, लाइक यू आर अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट इन वेटिंग. So this is share capital in waiting. Next, share application money pending allotment. This is very easy. You have issued the shares, you have received application for the shares, but as on balance sheet date, you have not done allotment. For example, I made a public offer on 26 March. 26 March, I received application money. I have done allotment on 3rd April. 26 March, I received money. Allotment is done on what date? 3rd April. So it becomes share capital on which date? 3rd April. But on 31st March, I have received money, na? On 31st March, I have received money. Where will I show that money? I will show that money under the head share application money pending allotment. ये हो गया तुम्हारा शेयर होल्डर्स फंड. एंड ये शेयर एप्लीकेशन मनी पेंडिंग अलॉटमेंट कहां पे जाता है? अल्टीमेटली शेयर कैपिटल में जाएगा. कब जाएगा शेयर कैपिटल में? व्हेन द शेयर्स आर allotted ultimately. This is a temporary item. This is not a permanent item. Why? You cannot have pending allotment permanent. Allotment has to be made within a prescribed time. Time is prescribed in the law. Time is different for listed company and unlisted companies. So you have to allot shares within some time. But problem क्या होता है? Just before the balance sheet, I received application money and allotment is done after balance sheet. So balance sheet date पे क्या पे दिखाऊं? Balance sheet date पे capital नहीं ना? कुछ समझा ना? Non-current liabilities. Non-current मतलब long term. Non-current का मतलब क्या है? Long term. How do you decide short term and long term is a very, very important discussion we will have afterwards in this chapter only. I have seen idiots. Less than 12 months short term, more than 12 months long term. Absolute bullshit. It is not like this. There is a concept called as operating cycle which you have to understand. इसी चैप्टर में मैंने आगे लिखा है, समझेंगे. Right now just understand word non-current means long term. So long term loans that you have taken, long term borrowing, deferred tax liabilities. This also is covered by a separate chapter in intermediate. This I will not explain now. This I will explain in a accounting standard number 22. अभी तुम्हारा income tax का knowledge उतना नहीं है. This is something to do with income tax. But listen, this is not tax outstanding. नाम से लगता है tax outstanding है. Deferred tax मतलब tax payable है लेकिन हमने pay नहीं किया. ऐसा लगता है, वैसा नहीं है. Because I have seen in parliament, question was asked to the finance minister. There are so many companies who are showing on the balance sheet liability side deferred tax liability. Why is government allowing them to defer the tax? Defer matlab delay in literal English. Finance minister was also confused. Our finance minister replied, let me get back. This was initially when the accounting standard 22 was introduced in India. Today this problem is not there. ये concept India में पहले नहीं था. 2002 India introduced this concept. Deferred tax. This is not tax delayed. This is accounting adjustment that we have to do. Because of this adjustment, Zomato has become profitable this quarter. ये adjustment होता है typical. You will learn in detail when we go to what? Accounting standard number 22. It can be deferred tax asset or a deferred tax liability. Right now मैंने liability लिखा है, इसलिए net लिखा है bracket में. Net मतलब you can have deferred tax asset because of some items. Some items you can have deferred tax. Net करना है. Net में asset आया तो asset side पे दिखाओ, क्योंकि आपको asset side पे भी नीचे मिलेगा. You cannot have deferred tax net asset as well as net liability. So there are 5 items because of which asset is there of 10 crores. There are 6 items because of which liability is there of 12 crores. You will show net 2 crore on which side? Liability side. And you will show nothing on asset side. Ulta ho gaya, so you show it on asset side. I hope you understand. Sir, what about rupees 50 if promoter didn't buy the share? That is gone, lapsed. 50 rupees is like an insurance premium. If 50 promoter does not buy the share, 50 rupees is gone. Other long-term liabilities, other borrowing matlab loan. Oh, borrowing can be debentures also. Borrowing can be in the form of and loan can also be there. Deferred tax liability bola, others. Others matlab which you cannot write above. That's what others. Other long-term liabilities. Other long-term liability. And long-term provisions. अभी ये चीज समझ लो पहले. Provisions क्या होता है एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. पहले सुन ला. पहले प्रोविजन का मतलब समझना, फिर लॉन्ग टर्म शॉर्ट टर्म आएंगे. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये डिस्कशन. Provisions are basically of two types. Provision is for two types. Provision for reduction in value of asset. Provision for what? Reduction in value of asset. Provision for reduction in a value of asset. For example, आपने डाउटफुल डेट्स के लिए प्रोविजन किया था फाउंडेशन में. यू मेक अ प्रोविजन फॉर डिक्लाइन इन द वैल्यू ऑफ फिक्स असेट्स. उसको फैंसी लैंग्वेज में हम बोलते हैं इम्पेयरमेंट लॉस, विच इज अ प्रोविजन क्रिएटेड फॉर व्हाट? रिडक्शन इन द वैल्यू ऑफ फिक्स असेट्स. समझा तुमको? Doubtful debts and what? Impairment loss. For example, this is decline in the value of asset. या तुमने कहीं shares में investment किया है या debentures में investment किया है, and the value of that debentures or shares has gone below the cost. You have purchased shares at 5 crore and now the value has gone down to 2 crore. You might have to make a provision for reduction in the value. So provision for reduction in the value of asset for doubtful debts एक हो गया. Impairment loss किसके लिए रहता है? Impairment loss on fixed assets. Reduction in investment value. Reduction in value of what? Investment. क्यों? कहीं आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया और उसकी मार्केट वैल्यू अगर क्या हो गई है? कम हो गई, तो आपको प्रोविजन करना पड़ेगा. यू हैव टू मेक अ प्रोविजन. देयर इज नो चॉइस. ये प्रोविजन कैसे करते हैं हम रिस्पेक्टिव स्टैंडर्ड में सीखेंगे. इसके लिए अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड नंबर 28 है. रिडक्शन इन इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड नंबर 13 है. डाउटफुल डेट के लिए कोई स्पेसिफिक स्टैंडर्ड नहीं है. So provision for reduction in a value of asset. I have asset, but the value of that asset has gone below cost or below WDV. क्यों? ये फिक्स एसेट के लिए WDV होता है. मैंने 3 एग्जांपल लिखे आपको यहां पर. फिक्स एसेट के लिए WDV होता है. आई होप यू नो WDV. रिटर्न डाउन वैल्यू, अमाउंट लेफ्ट आफ्टर प्रोवाइडिंग फॉर डेप्रिसिएशन इज नोन एज अ WDV. तो मेरे एसेट की WDV है 4 लाख. But market value has gone to 2 lakh. So I have to make a provision for loss of 2 lakh. Why? Concept of prudence or concept of conservatism. What does a prudence oblique conservatism say? Account for all anticipated losses, but account for all, do not account for anticipated gains or profit. So reduction in the value of asset is a gain or is a loss? Loss. And actual loss or anticipated? Anticipated. Why anticipated? We have not sold asset. अगर तुमने सेल किया तो एक्चुअल लॉस, वो तो बुक करना ही पड़ेगा ना. उसके लिए प्रोविजन नहीं है, वो तो बुक करना ही है. एसेट बेचा है क्या मैंने? बेचने वाला हूं क्या? हो क्या पता. हाँ, आज मालूम नहीं ना कुछ भी. सो यू क्रिएट अ प्रोविजन फॉर व्हाट? Reduction in a value of asset by debiting P&L account. So हम एंट्री क्या करते हैं? प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट डेबिट टू प्रोविजन, टू रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन, जो भी नाम देना है आपको. टू व्हाट वर्ड आई यूज्ड? रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन. टू रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन. रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन का मतलब क्या है? प्रोविजन फॉर डाउटफुल डेट हो सकता है, प्रोविजन फॉर व्हाट, रिडक्शन इन वैल्यू ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट हो सकता है, इंपेयरमेंट लॉस होता है, वट एवर नेम यू वांट टू गिव. टू इंपेयरमेंट लॉस, टू प्रोविजन फॉर डाउटफुल डेट, टू प्रोविजन फॉर रिडक्शन इन द वैल्यू ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, वट एवर नेम. Provisions are always created by debiting P&L. This is entry for creating a provision. This is entry for what? Creating provision. You create provision. How do you create a provision, bachcho? By debiting profit and loss account. I have debited a profit and loss account and I have created provision. Do you understand? I have created a provision. How? By debiting profit and loss account. Do you understand? By debiting P&L I have created a provision. Provision account has a credit balance. This is respective provision. Provisions account always has credit balance. And how is provision created? By debiting P&L. Why? Loss and error. Nominal. We teach from basics. Types of account: personal account, real account, nominal account. Nominal account, debit all losses, credit all incomes. This is nominal loss. Loss is debited. Basics. Are you clear with this provision? और एक प्रोविजन रहता है, बट उसके पहले इसमें और एक पॉइंट है. ये प्रोविजन को बैलेंस कौन सा है? क्रेडिट बैलेंस है ना. और एक बेसिक, क्रेडिट बैलेंसेस आर शोन ऑन लायबिलिटी साइड, डेबिट बैलेंसेस आर शोन ऑन असेट साइड. बट ये जो प्रोविजन है ना, विच इज फॉर रिडक्शन इन द वैल्यू ऑफ asset, we do not show on liability side. A provision for reduction in the value of asset is shown on asset side as a reduction. We reduce this provision from what? We reduce this provision from asset side. We reduce this provision from what? Asset side. Instead of showing as a liability. Okay, asset side मतलब किधर से भी reduce नहीं करने का, respective item में से reduce करने का. नहीं तो fixed assets का provision you are reducing from cash and bank balance. I'll kill you. इतना तो सेंस लगाना चाहिए तुमने. Provision for fixed asset reduced from goodwill. Why? I think so. This provision should be reduced instead of showing on or showing as liability. Do you understand this word? This is only one provision. We are not talking about this right now. This is provision for reduction in the value of. How do you create a provision? वो rule common है. Provision is always a loss. I'm creating a provision for loss. You cannot create a provision for profit, huh? नहीं, मेरे को प्रॉफिट होने वाला है, उसके लिए आज से प्रोविजन. मैं सीए बनने वाला है, आज से मेरे को कार चाहिए. घर पे जाके देखो ना आज, पप्पा मैं सीए बनने वाला है, तुम मेरे को गाड़ी का को देता, टू व्हीलर, तुम मेरे को होंडा सिटी दो. होंडा सिटी से जाएगा मैं क्लास को. पूछ के देखो ना आज रात, हिम्मत करो आज. मैं सीए बनने वाला है, फ्यूचर में मेरे को प्रॉफिट होने वाला है, उसके लिए मेरे को तुम आज होंडा सिटी आज ही दो. क्या करेगा? बकरीद. कॉमन सेंस है कि नहीं? हाँ. प्रोविजन फॉर लॉसेस कैन बी डन, प्रोविजन फॉर फ्यूचर प्रॉफिट कैन नॉट बी डन. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? कम अप, ट्राई करके देखना. प्रोविजन, ये एक प्रोविजन हो गया. दूसरा प्रोविजन क्या है? प्रोविजन फॉर लाइबिलिटी. प्रोविजन फॉर liability amount of which, क्या लिखा मैंने, liability amount of which is not known to us with certainty. Amount of which is not known to us with what? Certainty. I know that there is a liability, but I do not know that there is a, I don't know exact amount here. How is it possible? Possible, and I'll give you example. What I know that there is a liability. What I do not know, exact amount of that liability I do not know. Do you agree with me? Yes. For example, I am Apple. I have sold this particular phone. And I say there is a warranty on this phone for 2 years. Apple ने आज phone बेचा. Today is 19th of August 2023. Until 18th August 2025, any problem that you have in this phone, you can come to me and get it repaired or get it replaced. ये phone मैंने आज बेच दिया समर्थ को. I have received money. phone ही वापस देता है. I have received money. I will pass an entry of sales, bank account debit to sales account. ठीक है, खुश? But at the same time, when I sold the phone, I created a liability to replace the phone if there is a problem, or to repair the phone if there is a problem. Understood? Yes. So what I have? Liability. I have not sold phone to Samarth. I have sold 1 million phones like this. 1 million मालूम है क्या? कितना? चलो ठीक है. भाई साहब, 1 billion, 8,000, $1 billion बोला मैंने कभी तो लेक्चर में बोला 1 billion is 8,000 crore, तो डायरेक्ट 8,000 पे गया. वो डॉलर है. 1 billion means 100 crore. जाने दो, सॉरी. हाँ, इट्स ओके. So I have sold a phone. How many phones I sold? 1 million. Every phone I have given a warranty of 2 years. Tell me, do I know exactly how many phones will come back? No. But I can make a estimate. I know that there is a liability, but I don't know exactly how much will be repairs and replacement cost. क्या लिखा अभी पढ़ो वापस. Provision for a liability, amount of which is not known to us with certainty. What I know? Liability. What I don't know? Amount. तो हम क्या करेंगे? एस्टिमेट करेंगे उस लाइबिलिटी का, और एस्टिमेट करके उसका अकाउंटिंग करेंगे. समथिंग इज बेटर देन नथिंग. वी विल मेक अ एस्टिमेट. कुछ समझा क्या? वी मेक अ estimate, and based on the estimate we will do the accounting. It is not necessarily exactly किसी का बाप भी प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकता कितने फोन्स वापस आएंगे. पॉसिबल है किसी को? फिर मेक एस्टिमेट. एस्टिमेट का बेस्ट पॉसिबल एस्टिमेट जो भी है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ दैट एस्टिमेट आई विल डू दी अकाउंटिंग. डू यू अग्री विथ मी? सो प्रोविजन फॉर अ लाइबिलिटी, अमाउंट ऑफ विच इज नॉट नोन टू अस विद द certainty. I gave you first example. First example. और है provision for what? Warranty is a first example. Are you clear? What is the difference between this and this? Left hand side and right hand side. Left hand side was for asset. Right hand side is for. So, example. Entry भी सिखाऊंगा. Have patience. फोन वापस आ गया मेरा. क्या लिखोगे? प्रोविजन फॉर व्हाट? वारंटी. प्रोविजन फॉर वारंटी. बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स है. कैन यू चेंज द ग्रे बैकग्राउंड? अरे क्या होता है यार? आई डोंट नो व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम विद द बैकग्राउंड दर्शन यार. बैकग्राउंड के साथ क्या ब्लैक के ऊपर व्हाइट नहीं दिखाई देता, अरे ग्रे ये तो मतलब तेरे को क्या चाहिए? बैकग्राउंड व्हाइट चाहिए बैकग्राउंड। कल एक काम करते, हम जनरल मीटिंग बुलाते और उसमें ऑर्डिनरी रेजोल्यूशन पास करवाते हैं। इट्स ओके, विल हैव अ वोटिंग, यू बिकम अ चेयरमैन, चेयरवुमन। Provision for warranty. No, concept. I have to make a provision for warranty. Understood this example? Let me give another example. Instead of phone, don't put a car. That is another technique. और एक example, car लगाओ. I sold a car, 5-year warranty. अरे वही example होगा ना, provision for. अगला example सुनो. I am employer. You are. When you join for a job, I say, I will give you provident fund on retirement. On retirement, I will give you gratuity. After retirement, I will give you pension. Hana. I give so many promises to you about retirement benefits. Do I have to make a payment today? When do I have to make a payment? On retirement something, after retirement. Do I know exactly how much I'm going to pay? No, I don't know when you are going to die. Because you can die also, no, before retirement. After retirement, I have to pay you pension. I don't know when you will die after retirement. I don't know what will be your salary at the time of retirement, because pension depends on salary at the time of retirement. Gratuity amount depends on pension at the time of. Do I know exactly how much is a pension? Do I know exactly how much is retirement benefit? So what do? I make an estimate for what? Retirement benefit. So provision for what? Retirement benefit. But I know there is a liability. Liability is what? Obligation. As a result of past event. What is the liability? Obligation due to something happened in the past. What happened in the past? I appointed you as an employee. What happened in the past? I sold a phone. So sale of a phone results into my obligation towards Mr. Samarth. Amount of that obligation is not known. The moment you have obligation, it is a liability. बिल्ली ने चाय नहीं लाया है. Liability. So I know liability, but what I don't know, amount of that liability, I do not know. आधे लोगों को समझा, अभी भी नहीं समझा, अभी भी सोच रहे क्या हुआ. साले पोगो देखो, पोगो. और कल से नैपकिन लगा क्या हो? वाटर बैग, नैपकिन और लॉलीपॉप. वाटर बॉटल बोलो ना, मैंने गले में वाटर बॉटल लगा क्या ना. Provision for retirement benefit is a liability, amount of which is not known to me with certainty. Another example. I'm doing a business, I'm selling goods to customers, I'm incurring expenses. In this entire process, I expect to make certain profit. In this process, I expect to make what? Profit. ठीक है? अब सुनो. On the profit, I have to pay income tax. But exactly how much income tax payable, I can make an estimate. But government can demand something more. Why? I will estimate amount of tax payable. I will file an income tax return. But does government have a right to demand something more? How can government demand more? Because they might interpret a law in a different way than what I interpreted. I say this expenditure is an expenditure. Government बोलता है no, this is not expenditure. बोले ऐसे कैसे? हाँ, आप सीखोगे आगे जाके इनकम टैक्स में. तुम बोलते हो ये चीज मेरा खर्चा है, गवर्नमेंट बोलता है नहीं, ये खर्चा नहीं है तुम्हारा. क्यों? इट इज अ पर्सनल एक्सपेंस. तो तुमने जिस चीज को बिजनेस एक्सपेंडिचर ट्रीट किया, गवर्नमेंट उसको पर्सनल ट्रीट करता है। तुमने जिस चीज को बोला डिडक्टिबल एक्सपेंडिचर, गवर्नमेंट बोलता है डिडक्टिबल है ही नहीं, तो फिर तुम्हारा टैक्स पेबल बढ़ जाता है। तो एग्जैक्टली तुमको टैक्स पेबल मालूम है क्या कितना है? नहीं, टैक्स पेबल कभी कम नहीं होता। तुमने बोला 100 करोड़ पेबल है, गवर्नमेंट बोलता चलो 105 पेबल है। गवर्नमेंट कभी भी नहीं बोला नहीं नहीं इतना क्यों दे रहे हो, 90 करोड़ ही दे दो, ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा। इसलिए अपने विज्जू भैया ना वो वार्डरोब में पैसा रखते हैं, ऐसा नहीं करने का। लेकिन मतलब पॉइंट इज आई डू नॉट नो एग्जैक्ट अमाउंट ऑफ टैक्स। व्हाई? बिकॉज गवर्नमेंट कैन ट्रीट लॉ differently than what I interpreted. Do you understand? And due to which tax payable can. Do you understand? So what do? I have to pay the tax. That is liability, amount of which is not known to us with certainty. So what is it? Provision for income tax. GST का जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि जीएसटी आप कस्टमर से कलेक्ट करके गवर्नमेंट को पे करते हो, तो जीएसटी आपका खर्चा है ही नहीं। यू जस्ट कलेक्ट इट फ्रॉम द कस्टमर एंड पे इट टू हुम। बट कोई लिटिगेशन चल रहा है, आपके अगेंस्ट किसी ने केस फाइल किया है, एंड यू नो दैट यू हैव टू मेक अ पेमेंट एज पर द कोर्ट, बट कोर्ट कितना मांगेगा भगवान जाने। सो व्हाट यू डू? प्रोविजन फॉर लीगल डिस्प्यूट्स और प्रोविजन फॉर क्लेम्स। लीगल डिस्प्यूट चालू है तुम्हारा किसी कस्टमर के साथ, सप्लायर के साथ, गवर्नमेंट के साथ, किसी के साथ भी तुम्हारा डिस्प्यूट चालू है, उसमें क्या हो गया? केस फाइल हो गया तुम्हारे ऊपर। यू थिंक दैट नहीं यार पैसा तो पे करना पड़ेगा, लायबिलिटी इज देयर, बट यू डोंट नो एग्जैक्ट अमाउंट। व्हाई? कोर्ट नोज ना, कोर्ट को मालूम है कितना एग्जैक्ट अमाउंट पेएबल है। तो तब तक तुम क्या करोगे? प्रोविजन कर सकते हो। हाँ, अगर तुमको लगता है कि अमाउंट ही पेएबल नहीं है, तुमको लगता है लायबिलिटी ही नहीं है इस केस में हमारी, तो यू कैन शो इट एज अ कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी। कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी इज नॉट अकाउंटेड, कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी इज डिस्क्लोज्ड। कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी कभी भी बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स पे नहीं रहता है, वो नीचे डिस्क्लोजर्स में, नोट्स टू अकाउंट में आता है, लेकिन बैलेंस शीट पे नहीं आता। हम इसको बोलते हैं ऑफ बैलेंस शीट आइटम्स। किसको? कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी। कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी कब है? किसी ने केस ठोका मेरे ऊपर, बिजनेस के ऊपर, एंड आई थिंक दैट नो 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 लायबिलिटी आएगा ही नहीं। लायबिलिटी मे कम, लायबिलिटी मे नॉट कम, एंड इन माय ओपिनियन प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ लायबिलिटी इज लेसर देन द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ नो लायबिलिटी। तो आई विल शो इट एज अ कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी। अब जजमेंट रिक्वायर्ड है। कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी है या प्रोविजन है, इसके लिए क्या चाहिए? जजमेंट चाहिए। मैनेजमेंट को जजमेंट लगाना पड़ता है, एंड यू एज ऑडिटर हैव टू वेरीफाई वेदर द जजमेंट इज रीजनेबल और नॉट। रीजनेबलनेस ऑफ जजमेंट हैज टू बी चेक्ड बाय होम? ऑडिटर। तभी जाके तुमको साइन करना है। यूर साइन हैज मोर पावर देन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर साइन। सो डू यू वांट टू बिकम प्राइम मिनिस्टर और डू यू वांट टू बिकम चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट? कर लेना छोटी बात, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ना। कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी बैलेंस शीट के बाहर रहता है, हमेशा याद रखना। लिसन टू दिस मिस्टेक व्हिच आई डिड, लर्न फ्रॉम लॉसेस अगेन। Along with the Dilip Buildcon, I had invested in one more company where again I was in a huge profit and ultimately ended in a huge losses. Edelweiss Financial Services. रशेश शाह करके एक प्रमोटर है, अच्छा कंपनी था, बहुत अच्छा प्रॉफिट कमाया था, बहुत अच्छा फास्ट ग्रो हुआ था, बट देयर वेर सर्टन थिंग्स दैट हैपेंड। एनफोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के कुछ केसेस चल रहे थे उनके ऊपर इन रिलेटिंग टू वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट रियल एस्टेट मॉल इन द मुंबई सिटी, along with some politician from opposition party, and government के उनके ऊपर कुछ केसेस चल रहे थे, and that affected lot of things. ये सारी चीजें बैलेंस शीट में थी नहीं. There were a lot of items which were outside the बैलेंस शीट, हमने उसको देखा ही नहीं, और जब ये केसेस हिट हुए तो बिजनेस अफेक्ट हुआ. along with other reasons also. This was one of the reason, but this was one of the very important reason why many investor turned against Edelweiss, because they said if the promoter has so many cases, character is questioned. Rashesh Shah's character is being questioned. कि भाई तुम्हारे ऊपर cases क्यों है इतने? Why are you linked to a politician? Lot of times your character matters. So company might be doing good, but if there are questions on character, but character को company के case में we use a fancy word, corporate governance. What word I used? ऐसे जो मैटर आते हैं ना, तब कितना भी कंपनी अच्छा बिजनेस करे, कुछ होता नहीं है, कुछ नहीं होता. तो कॉन्टिंजेंट लायबिलिटी देखा करो. मैंने आपको एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बोला था, कितने लोगों ने देखा मुझे मालूम नहीं. Entire business of Enron failed because Enron had huge contingent liabilities and no investor bothered to look at them. Enron दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा electricity manufacturer. At one point of time, Enron was bigger in market value, bigger than Apple. Apple Microsoft से भी बड़ा था एक point पे, Enron. And that company going bankrupt because they had a huge off-balance sheet liabilities which are not recorded in the books of accounts. So when making an investment, look at what? Contingent liabilities. They are disclosed. They are not accounted. So difference between provision and contingent liability in case of legal cases is always debatable. कुछ companies जो actual provision होता है या liability होता है उसको contingent दिखा के fraud करता है. मतलब there is actually liability but they don't show it as a liability, they show it as a contingent liability by saying that no, probability is very low, we are going to win the case and something like that. So this is not ये ऐसा कोई black and white area नहीं है कि what is liability and what is contingent liability. There can be a difference of opinion. अब कुछ लोग फ्रॉड करता है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते यार, तुम उसको कुछ नहीं कर सकते. It is you have to just improve your ability to analyze. You can do nothing. There are so many great businesses which have failed because of these issues. Enron was one of them, biggest. बहुत सारे. The another one accounting fraud का सचिन तेंदुलकर को बेचारा उसको पैसा मिला कि नहीं मालूम नहीं. Worldtel Communications करके कंपनी था, world's largest telecom operator at that point of time. टेलीकॉम सर्विसेज ऑपरेटर वर्ल्डटेल. टेलीकॉम नहीं था, टेलीकॉम के सर्विसेज लीज लाइन का जो कॉन्सेप्ट था वो प्रोवाइड करने वाला कंपनी था. सचिन तेंदुलकर वाज हायर्ड एज अ ब्रांड एम्बेसडर फॉर देयर इंडियन बिजनेस. Sachin was at the peak of his career at that time. Bankrupt. Certain liabilities they had not disclosed. Revenue recognition में mistakes किए थे. तो बच्चों contingent liability देखना चाहिए. अभी हम क्या देख रहे हैं बच्चों? Provision और contingent liability का difference बहुत बार blur होता है. Blur होता है मतलब clear नहीं होता है. Especially in case of what? Legal disputes. ये मैंने कुछ examples दिए. Entry वापस वही है. P&L account debit. कोई भी प्रोविजन है P&L को डेबिट करके करना है. P&L अकाउंट डेबिट टू वापस वही रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन. आई हैव सीन स्टूडेंट्स राइटिंग रिस्पेक्टेड प्रोविजन. आप लेटर नहीं लिख रहे हो, रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन कुछ भी लिखते हैं यार. मतलब कहां से आते हैं ऐसे आइटम, लोग मालूम नहीं मेरे को. रिस्पेक्टिव प्रोविजन. रिस्पेक्टिव मतलब प्रोविजन फॉर टैक्स, प्रोविजन फॉर वारंटी, प्रोविजन फॉर रिटायरमेंट बेनिफिट. shown on liability side. इसको हम asset side पे नहीं दिखाते. Shown on what? Liability side. So whenever you make a provision, बच्चों, you always need an estimate. Provision cannot be calculated without an estimate. Estimate is mandatory. Without estimate, how will you get a provision? Not possible. Not possible. Can you go wrong? Yes. अब बहुत सारा कंपनी फ्रॉड्यूलेंटली क्या करता है? गलत एस्टिमेट करता है. यू शुड नॉट इन्वेस्ट इन सच कंपनीज. यू शुड नॉट इन्वेस्ट इन सच कंपनीज एट ऑल. मैंने एक वैल्यू इन्वेस्टिंग के ऊपर एक लेक्चर लिया था चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स के लिए. आई डोंट नो, आई हैड शेयर्ड ऑन द स्मार्ट बाइट्स ग्रुप वैल्यू इन्वेस्टिंग का लेक्चर. how do you find out quality companies which are undervalued, which are available at a cheaper rate? तो कुछ factors बोले थे मैंने वहां पर. One of the very, very important factor, this is a framework taken from Motilal Oswal, रामदेव अग्रवाल जी का मैंने framework उसमें discuss किया था, QGLP. उसमें से जो G है, Q is for quality, G is for governance. Do not put your money at all in a companies where governance or the character of the people associated is questionable. Don't even try to put the money, howsoever attractive these companies are. I can't take the name of the company right now, which I had taken exactly a year ago. In my opinion, Adani group of companies. There are a lot of questions being raised on governance. Money can be made outside Adani companies also. I really do not know, like, if there is so much of genuinity and everything, why there are so many questions being raised about so many investors across the world, and why is government or the court not coming up with the clean investigation or the clean transparent data? Why can't you hire some big auditing firms? Why is the auditing firms need to resign? Deloitte resigned. These are all questions on governance, but the person is extremely powerful. I might be wrong. I wish I'm wrong. But I will, in my personal life, after learning from Edelweiss experience, I will not put money, howsoever appealing or howsoever attractive it may be. Whenever there is a dot on what? Character oblique governance. Adani के ऊपर major question है governance के ऊपर. The questions which are asked about year ago नहीं, beginning of this year, 2023 के beginning में, हिंडनबर्ग करके एक रिसर्च एजेंसी है यूएस का, उन्होंने बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस रेज किए थे. उनके आंसर्स मेजॉरिटी लोगों ने पैट्रियोटिक तरीके में दिए थे कि दिस इज अटैक ऑन इंडिया. दिस इज नॉट एन अटैक ऑन इंडिया. अदानी इज नोवेयर इक्वल टू इंडिया. इंडिया इज वे बिगर देन अदानी. But I have seen so many people commenting, this is foreigners attacking India. Who the hell said that India is equal to Adani, boss? Is India equal to Adani just because, you know? I don't think so. Adani is not big. कुछ लोग ऐसे बोलते हैं, I'm not saying, Mr. Adani himself never said Adani is greater than India, यार. But लोग अपने फालतू के बकवास करते हैं, थर्ड क्लास लोग. बहुत सारे. मिस्टर अदानी ने कभी भी नहीं बोला है. उसमें लोग इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना. आई एम नॉट सेइंग अदानी इज अ फ्रॉड. व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज आई डू नॉट वांट such kind of a company where questions are being raised on governance. You go ahead, I have no problem. It is your money. But why do आप बोलेंगे there are so many big investors putting such a big amount of money. I don't know from where they have got money. When there are questions being raised and the answers I am not finding in the most transparent manner which should be there, so I do not want to put my money. Now if somebody wants to take a risk, somebody wants to buy a lottery ticket, he can buy by buying Adani companies. In my opinion, I might be wrong. I have my right to have my own opinion and I have right to disagree with you. In case you have different opinion, I just put up one point on governance, and this is a very, very important lesson that you should learn at an early stage of your life, because if you see corporate history across the world, in majority of the cases where people have lost the money, it's on governance issues, nothing to do with accounting. So provisions आप कर रहे हो या नहीं कर रहे हो, ठीक है, समझा provision आपको? अभी जो प्रोविजन हमने देखा ना बच्चों, ये लाइबिलिटी रिलेटेड प्रोविजन है. ये प्रोविजन दो टाइप के होते हैं, शॉर्ट टर्म एंड लॉन्ग टर्म. सम ऑफ द प्रोविजंस माइट बी ड्यू इन, imagine short term right now as next 12 months. It is not next 12 months, huh? Did I discuss what is short term, what is long term? Yes sir, videos भी तिरंगा के बैकग्राउंड से आ रहे हैं. अच्छा, उनका ऐड आ रहा है क्या अभी तिरंगा के साथ? चलो ठीक है, तिरंगा तो यूज करना अलाउड है, मैं भी तिरंगा यूज कर सकता हूं. तिरंगा तो कोई मतलब एक का नहीं, पूरे कोई भी यूज कर सकता है, दैट इज ओके. मुझे वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं लग रहा. मुझे प्रॉब्लम कहां पे लग रहा है, जो रिप्लाईज दिए जा रहे हैं ना, वो रिप्लाईज फैक्ट के ऊपर दिए गए ना, तो आसान है. इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग Emotional reply. Emotions are of no use, boss. Emotions नहीं, जाने दो. शॉर्ट टर्म हो सकता है या लॉन्ग टर्म हो सकता है. कुछ समझा क्या तुमको? शॉर्ट टर्म को क्या बोलेंगे हम? शॉर्ट टर्म प्रोविजंस नीचे है ना, शॉर्ट टर्म प्रोविजन करंट लायबिलिटी के अंदर. तो करंट लायबिलिटी में क्या आएगा? शॉर्ट टर्म बोरोइंग, ट्रेड पेएबल. ट्रेड पेएबल मतलब योर क्रेडिटर्स एंड बिल्स पेएबल. अब उसमें ब्रेकअप है, वो ब्रेकअप बाद में बताता हूं. अदर करंट लायबिलिटीज, ये लायबिलिटी साइड है. देयर आर फ्यू मोर पॉइंटर्स आई नीड टू एक्सप्लेन ऑन लायबिलिटी साइड. I shall explain them on Monday. We shall be going towards assets also. Please go through everything that you have out there with you and see you on Monday.